Anyway, let me introduce Dr. Pooja Sehgal Tabek to you. Very good morning to all of
Hello,
you.
ma'am.
And it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Pooja to you.
Good morning.
Uh, she is a senior member of faculty in the marketing department of Amity Business School, Amity University. She was a gold medalist during her MBA at CSJM University, Kanpur. She's also UGC NET qualified in management. She's an avid researcher and has published numerous research papers in international and national journals. She is also the co-author of a book which is titled Fundamentals of Retailing. Her areas of interest are bottom of pyramid markets, consumer behavior, and retail. So over to you, Pooja.
Thank you so very much, sir. Very warm welcome to all of you in this second session or second day sessions of marketing management. Yesterday, Professor Bagla, as well as my colleagues, had taken you through a journey of marketing, where they had discussed about a number of marketing orientations, as well as how marketing evolved. I hope that you all were able to understand that core of those marketing orientations were consumer or customer. And today, in this particular session, we will try to understand consumers in VUCA world. So I'll try to divide this session into two particular parts. One, where we'll try to understand the customers or consumer, and second, their understanding in this or how this particular word, which is volatile in nature, which is uncertain, complex, ambiguous, how consumers are changing in this disruptive world, and as a companies or organizations, how does they need to address n number of things in this particular environment. So from your yesterday's experience, any one of you, if able to summarize that, what is your understanding about consumers? Yeah, any one of you, any one of participants, right? What is your understanding about consumers or customers? We all are customers.
Yes.
Yes, Sebastian, please
Hello.
go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. I think customer buys and consumer is the person who use a product. For example, a parent buy a drawing for her kid. In this case, a parent is a customer and a drawing is a consumer. That's all. Yeah.
Very, very nicely defined it. Now let us listen from Sebastian also. Sebastian, please go ahead.
Yeah, what do we think about consumers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, first of all, that they are the ones that actually for the ones that the organization has to build or like to make the value for. We have to understand them. We have to, to try to understand them, right? And to try to make a product that is suitable for them. I have a very it's an example because, for example, I have a clothing brand, and we make well. This was the first collection that we launched, so we make trousers. But I thought that my customers were going to use more size 30, 32 waist. So I made more of them. Like 50% of the production was between size 30 and 32 waist.
Mhm.
However, when we were in the market already, most of my consumers were size 28 and 30. So those sizes sold out like in less than a year. And now and in the second collection, now we have to make more of those sizes because the other sizes didn't sell as much as these ones. So I think what I was trying to say, that we have to understand them to maybe like adjust our forecasting, our products to meet their expectations and their you know, like, yeah, their expectations. I think that is, and their preferences.
Definitely, Sebastian, you had given a bird's eye view where your understanding as well as the consumer, one side is yours and another is consumer. And when you people had made these sizes, that is your perspective. But the other side, consumer, had receptive in some other manner. So that's why that particular 32 size, which you were talking about, that didn't work in that particular case. Mamta, you want to add something over here?
Sorry, I think at the time I was away a little bit. Could you please repeat the question, what you want from
We are
us?
trying to understand from different perspectives that what do you understand by consumers or customers?
Yeah, I think that this is a little bit definition study we got from the Bagla sir or Sunitra ma'am. It's all about the consumer, the end user of that particular product, whereas the customers who have a capacity to buy that products for that consumer. You can take the example of the Kellogg's Chocos, which is used by basically our kids. So we can give here our kids are the consumer, whereas the parents who buy for them is the concerned as a customer.
Very, very nice, Mamta. So there are a number of examples where there is customer or differentiation between customer and consumers can be done. Yeah. So customers, the one who are buyers, and consumers, those who are consume that particular product category. And n number of time it happened where consumer as well as customers both are same. So the n number of times when there is a purchasing power, not if we'll talk about kids, right? But in other cases, a number of time our individual is going to act both as customer as well as consumer, right? Like, for example, if you talk about all of you yourselves, right? You are consumer as well as customers, and your role is overlapping n number of times. Now, the second particular perspective, if we'll talk about, which is related with that how these customers are going to buy certain particular product categories or so on. So that second perspective is related with consumer behavior. So it is a study of consumers' choice, that how they are going to search, evaluate, purchase, use the product, as well as do a number of other things to believe that this product is going to satisfy their needs related or pertaining with certain particular product categories or so on. I hope that last sessions, you people also being given the definitions as well as understandings related with needs as well as wants. So it is consumer behavior is searching. For example, as a customer, first you need to search. Then there are n number of brands which are available. Out of these brands, you need to decide that which brand I am going to buy, evaluate, purchase, and ultimately use the product which will satisfy your need or want. So if we talk about that after, if it is, this is what consumer behavior is, so then how consumers are going to or make their decisions while buying the product. So anybody, right? Take your example, any new purchase which you had taken, purchased, how did you make the decision that I am going to buy this XYZ brand? This brand is going to satisfy my need for any XYZ product. Yes, anyone? We are talking about that if consumer behavior is that we need to identify needs as a consumers, we need to identify our problems, then we are going to search, then ultimately and purchase, then how we are making the decisions as a consumers that this product we are going to buy. See, for that reason, right, first of all, you need to identify the need. Yes, I am in this particular problem or issue, and I need to resolve this product category or with the help of this certain products or so on. N number of times, this need identification or problem recognition is a new one. N number of time, it is an old one. For example, you are using N number of products on daily basis, FMCG, apparels, or so on. So for example, let's say your toothpaste. Today morning, all right, or you had seen that it is somehow finished. Then at that moment of time, because your existing toothpaste is or quantity is over, hence you recognize that I am in need of now new toothpaste. So it is a kind of routine which I'm doing as a customer, but yes, there is a need. The second category may be in certain particular new product categories. So because we are talking about this word which is volatile in nature. So for example, N number of you must be aware about ChatGPT. Right. So it is in fad. Every other person is talking about ChatGPT. So when we listen about ChatGPT, which is some particular disruption coming up, we try to find actually, do we have need of ChatGPT or not? So N number of us, because of curiosity, started using it. N number of us are keeping a watch that let us see what exactly is going to happen, and then we will decide whether to buy or not to buy. So this is what when we are talking about need recognition. So let us come back to our very first question, that how consumers are going to make decisions. So this is a process which is also known as buying behavior model, through which customers are making decisions. First, there is a need recognition, where I need to identify that I am in some kind type of state and my actual state is different from my desired state. There is certain particular item at my home which I want to refill. My already existing smartphone is not working good enough. I need to buy a new one. There is a new fashion in market. That's why I need to buy a new set of apparel or so. So this is what need recognition is. Once as a customer, I'm going to recognize the need. Then I'll start with information search. There are n number of brands, and we will talk about that, how we'll able to get that information. And after that, there is evaluation of alternatives. Evaluation of alternatives means that, for example, if you people will talk about that toothpaste is finished. Now you have two particular choices. The first one is you refill it with the same toothpaste brand, whatever you are using since so many years. Second, you visited supermarket, you had seen that there are n number of other brands, taste, which are available, and they are claiming n number of others. So you are now evaluating your existing brand with n number of other brands which are there in supermarket. So this is what evaluation of alternatives. And after that, you will make the purchase decision, and ultimately that whether customer is going to buy it or not buy it, that will come as post-purchase decision. So Sebastian, you were discussing with us that 32 size which being manufactured by you were not being popular as well as being purchased by people. So now can you recognize where was the problem from your end, that why customers were not purchasing that size?
I actually, if you ask me, I would say according what have we heard here, because of the need, right? But actually, I would say that there is a lot of factors that are, that cause this behavior of my audience, right?
Yeah.
One of them might be the segment that I am reaching for. Maybe I miscalculated that there will be 30 and 45 years, but actually I can recognize that my segment is from 18 to 34,
Okay.
or maybe leaner, they exercise. Another factor could be the models that I use for my, for my social networks and
Yeah.
my website, and for, like exhibit my clothing. They are very fit, lean, tall.
Yeah.
So I can think that as we were seeing in the strategic part, sorry, or workshop, I think 2 sessions ago,
Yeah.
I think that the brand in this short 1.5 year, we're going to the 2, have developed, like an image, or maybe what is, like a perception, a bit for the customers, no, I believe for the customers that this brand is suitable for something, like
Yeah.
we're aiming people who work, who are young, who are very active in the day, because that's why we make our clothes comfortable.
Yeah.
So I think these a lot of factors have to do a lot with the segment that we are sorry, the behavior of the customers. But again, I have learned something, that because in this entrepreneurship, we are only one one investor, my girlfriend and me, who are working in the entrepreneurship, in the company. So we have learned something that is really difficult to try to
Yeah.
understand the customer behavior with not little, because Instagram, Facebook, and all the social networks that they give us a lot of data, but it's really hard for a short team to try to process it and try to understand it, because the time when we launch some products different for clothing and everything, we try to understand. We try, like to do the whole process, analyze the data. We even use some AI tools that are free on the internet and everything else. And it was a failure. So we have now learned that we shouldn't, like try to understand this, like very, the quintessential the aspect of the behavior of the consumer. We just try to, like, they like this is the segment, the generals, and within this information, try to develop new products, try to adjust the products that we already have to meet their expectations and their needs. So
Yeah.
this is like, I'm not a marketing. Marketing is not my formation. That's why I'm here to learn. But in real life, these things are like, this is my experience in real life. I just wanted to share it with you, class.
Thank you very much, Sebastian. But what is my understanding? Whatever you shared with us, the main perspective is always from entrepreneur's view, organizational or marketeer's view, that you should recognize the need of customer. If you are able to recognize that need, then the product or solution which you are going to offer not only will be liked by the customer, but customer or consumer n number of times used to make extra efforts to get the product if that particular product is going to satisfy their need. So for marketing as well as consumer behavior perspective, the core is understanding of consumers. And it starts with very first fact that you need to recognize or supposed to understand their needs as well as problems. So the very first fact we understand. Now, the second is that what that particular need is and how do I understand that? In that particular case, you need to understand two particular labels. One is actual state and another is desired state. Actual state is in the particular state where your consumer is right now. Desired state is by buying or purchasing that particular product category, where will he reach? So there are two perspectives I'm talking about. One, what is consumer's actual stage? And after using that particular product, where will he reach? That is going to be desired state. And that's how, as a customer, as a company, we need to, or we are going to recognize the needs. So coming back to our example, that is of toothpaste. So think about toothpaste advertisements of your countries. What exactly they are talking about? Right, anybody, if able to recall any advertisement of toothpaste, what are they claiming? What exactly are they talking about? Yes, anyone? Toothpaste, we all are using, right? So which particular, if toothpaste, if you people are using while brushing your teeth, then if you are able to recall any particular brand of your country, tell me that that brand of toothpaste is claiming what? What are they showing in that advertisement? Yes, Sebastian.
Oh, yeah. For example, in my country, is very popular Colgate.
Yeah.
And you know, like you have made me think about it, because I haven't seen any advertisements from Colgate, but from what I remember in the box, there are always smiles and good teeth in
Okay,
the box.
perfect smile we can take as?
Yeah.
Mamta? Yeah, go ahead.
And just I want to compare two advertisements, one for the close-up and one for the Colgate. The
Go ahead.
close-up advertisements always main focus on the smiling and shining and freshness.
Yeah.
Where the Colgate, you know, that the advertisement of the Colgate focus in the salt mixed with that Colgate paste, and it gives your strength to your teeth. So the way of focusing, way of emphasizing of the both toothpaste are the different, you know.
Great. Anybody else? So I hope that Colgate as well as Close-Up are two brands which are popular in all different countries, right? Now, if we'll talk about, if you people are not able to recall any advertisement or their packaging only, then there are teeth, perfect smile, and n number of time there is no cavity, right? So as individuals, we have these problems, that is strong teeth are required, right? A, B, cavities, B, smile is one of the most important part of your personality or so. So in that particular case, actual state which they are showing is present state of teeth of individual. Desired is that big smile, which is shining one, white, right, on the packet of Colgate or Close-Up. So that's how we are, as a marketeers, going to define the difference in between actual and desired state. Now, if as a customer, I'm very happy with the product, whatever I'm using. So the game for new entrant as a company is going to be difficult. I'm very happy. I'm using Colgate, or I'm using Close Up, or I'm using Pepsodent, or any other brand in your country. Now, as entrepreneur, I'm going to launch a new brand in market. But I surveyed that all of segments are very happy with the product which they are using. So in that particular case, how am I going to think as well as create some particular problem? Are you getting my point? That if I'm not able to recognize the need, if I'm not going to put this in mind of customers, then how does they recognize that there is a need, so they will buy this new product which is being launched? Right. So in that particular case, the answer is I need to increase the gap between actual and desired state. I'm using Close Up. I want that big smile. I'm getting that. I'm happy, satisfied customer. But as a new entrant, I need to widen the gap between actual and desired state so that there will be a loop for me to enter in that particular stage as a marketer. So now my second question is there any company which broaden or which is able to broaden this gap between actual and desired state? And most of the companies are in today's scenario, and you need to think from that particular perspective from your companies, that there need to be broadened the gap in between actual as well as desired state. So only you'll able to enter in that market or so. Think about that from this particular perspective, which is toothpaste market. But let me share with you one particular case that is of noodles, so that you will able to understand how this gap is between widen. I hope you all are aware about Maggi, Nestle's Maggi. Yes. So Nestle Maggi is one of the famous noodle, and it is 2-minute noodle. Now there is a company in India, if you people are aware about Yippee, YIPPI, Yippee, that is from ITC. They want to enter in this market of noodles, all right? So they need to see that there is an actual and desired, and customers all over the world are very happy with Maggi. Then how we are able to, or as ITC or this brand, which is Yippee, they'll able to create brand or market for themselves. It is simple that when you are going to increase the difference between actual and desired state. So in India, if we'll talk about that noodle cake of Maggi is rectangular in nature. I hope you people had seen. It is simple, rectangular in nature in packet. Is it circular or rectangular? Han, you are making some particular sign. I'm not able to understand. You are talking about it is rectangular. You agree with that? Show me the thumbs up sign. And if you have any confusion, go ahead with your question. Please unmute yourself. I'm not getting anything, any question, but I'm able to see that there is some confusion.
I think he's mute. He's not audible.
Please unmute yourself.
Yes, we are listening to you, teacher. No problem.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So it is rectangular. We all do agree, right? Now, the brand which I'm talking about, that is Yippee, right? So the problem is, how do we create or increase the difference in between actual and desired state? So when you cook this Maggi, the instruction said that you need to break that noodle cake and then put it in water, boiling water for 2 minutes, and it is. When you are breaking that particular noodle cake, the size of noodles are going to be smaller. Agree? You break the noodle cake, the size of the noodle is going to be smaller. But everybody love to eat that noodles which are comparatively longer in size. So in that particular case, what this company had done, they increase the gap in between actual and desired, simply said that our competitor is giving you noodles which are smaller in size. It means that they need to come up with some particular thing where the noodle size need to be increased. So they came up with this circular, the round shaped noodle cake, and utensils which all of us are using at our homes, they are round in size. So you need not to break that noodle cake, rather it will go inserted like this in that utensil. When you are not breaking that, it means that noodle is going to be longer in size or so. So it simply means that customers sitting at their home, they were happy with Maggi, but what company had done, they increased that particular level, which is a difference between actual and desired, and come up with this solution, and that's how they snatched market share of Maggi. Mamta, you want to add something?
Yeah, the same thing in our society also. That's last YY, the CG group who producing the YY, but that was not very spicy. Nowadays, now the youngest one or younger people wants more spicy. So they again they feel try to fill up the gap between actual state to desired state, and now they produce a different kind of current and 2 p.m. different kind of the very spicy noodles. So they do not need to put the extra spicy on that. So these are also one of the example of the actual state to desired state.
Perfect. So that's what we were talking about, that how you are going to increase, right, that particular gap in between actual as well as desired state. So ultimately, as a new brand, you are able to make a entry in the market or so. Now let's come back to our example, which we were talking about, that is related with toothpaste. So toothpaste, when we discussed about that, strong is there, then now whiter, shinier teeth were there, then there were no cavities or so on. Then, right, there are companies, those who came up with to increase this actual as well as desired state, that our particular toothpaste ingredients doesn't have any chemicals, so that it is safer for a number of people, whether it is kids, whether it is toddlers or so, because it is chemical free. Again, that stage, actual and desired, being increased to recognize that particular need or so. So that's how need recognition plays a role in consumer behavior. So both the perspectives we are able to understand. One perspective, that is us as a consumer, and second perspective, that is for marketeers.
Yeah.
Victor, you want to add something here? Okay. Now let's go further. I had given you a small example pertaining with the same. When as a customer, I'm trying to recognize these particular decisions or so on, or recognize the need, a number of times I'm going to take decisions. So I have routine response behavior, I have limited decision making, as well as the third particular where there is a extensive response behavior or so. Now, how does it work? Routine response behavior, the examples which we discussed, toothpaste, noodles, salt, pulses, vegetables, and number of other things, right? Some kind of spices which you are using while making your food or so on. They all are routine response behavior. So you end up buying all these products just as your routine or so on. Then there is limited decision making, where n number of times you are involved more and you search about some type of information which may related with ingredients, which may related with some particular product, right, brand. N number of times it is pricing also. Extensive decision making is when some new need arises, right? So till now, you didn't purchase any type of product category in same perspective, and very first time you are going to buy that particular product. So at that moment of time, there is extensive decision making. For example, very first time when you purchased your car, at that moment of time, it is extensive. You visited, you had taken a test drive of n number of brands or so, and ultimately then after you had taken decision that I am going to buy this particular car or so, and that is what extensive is. Now, the problem, again, not a problem, but rather it is from marketeer's perspective, right? Simple. If it is routine, if my customers knows that he need to refill certain product categories in his inventory at home, so he'll end up buying same product again and again. So at that moment of time, what type of differentiation as a company I'm going to make? Extensive, it is okay because you are going to buy very first time. So I have a chance as a marketer that I'll enter there in your categories of product, and you are buying it very first time. That's why I'm able to sell it off. But what if for routine, right? Response behavior. In that particular case, routine response behavior, if we'll talk about. So marketers need to do n number of differentiations in this particular case. And if we'll talk about from the perspective that is VUCA, this is comparatively most volatile word where disruption is required. That how disruption is going to make and customers are going to buy or change their routine response behavior related with certain product categories where involvement is going to be comparatively very, very minimum. A. B, when we are talking about innovation, that innovation is comparatively also very less in this routine response behavior category. So innovation needs to be, from innovation perspective, then you need to be very, very research oriented to know that what exactly your customer is looking for. So this is again that how consumer is going to react with certain product categories or so on. Now let's move further after this and look at information search. So we have done read recognition, and we are able to understand that in need recognition, there is certain particular things which are related with perspective. So before buying a product, I'm going to use our information search. Now, what type of information you need to search for while buying a product? Yes, anyone? What kind of information is required while you are going to buy any product category? Take any product category of your choice and tell me that which particular type of information you are seeking for. Okay, Sebastian is writing brand, price, expiry date. Okay, good enough. So you are going to search about brand. 1. You are going to search about price. That is again one of the very important criteria because it need to be in your price point. Then somebody is talking about that expiry also need to be. Okay, sizes. So Sebastian, when we are talking about sizes and prices, right? So in FMCG category, these both are related. For example, if we'll talk about SKU, stock keeping unit. So smaller the packing of toothpaste, lesser the price. So price is directly proportional to SKUs in case of most of the FMCG product category. But let us talk about, because you are in apparel business, if we'll talk about apparels also, yes, at that moment of time, you are supposed to check sizes or so. But in FMCG, if we'll talk about, size is simply, right? If price is going to increase, size is going to increase, right? And if size is smaller, then price is also going to be smaller.
So it's depend upon the volume, no?
Yeah, it is. That's what, Mamta, we are talking about, stock keeping unit, right? So it is depends upon the volume.
Sometimes we have to check the technical information. That's it.
That is very important, Victor, technical information. If the product is related with certain technicalities also. So if we'll talk about electronics, if we'll talk about smartphones, if we'll talk about some type of gadgets, then a technicality is involved, as well as with the technicalities, you need to understand second particular fact, which is known as ease of use, right? So what ease of use is in case of gadgets, that how easily am I able to understand as an individual and use that product category. So in today's scenario, when we are talking about technicality in the products, that is related with ease of use. How easily am I able to use that product category? Okay. So in that particular case, you need to change your technical perspective to usage perspective. Yeah. Right? Very, very nice point, Victor. So it is related with ease of use. Good.
Yes, and sometimes when it's like a food, we have to check also that I don't know how you call it. You can see the grams, maybe the calories. I don't know how you call that information.
Health related information you are talking about?
Yes, health related information. Yes.
So there are apps there, applications there in phones. So that apps. So how many applications you are able to download? Health is one of that kind of application, which will show you that is calories you burn, your water intake, and number of times, right? The speed with which you walk or so on, your sleeping pattern. So this is right. This also a number of times people used to check, as well as with your phone, and not only phone. If we'll talk about n number of other product categories or so on, is that gadget is capable to use with n number of other gadgets. So whether I'm able to connect my phone with printer, am I able to connect my phone with television? Am I able to connect my phone with my car's Bluetooth? Am I able to connect my phone with, let's say, my kid's phone or gadget? Am I able to connect my phone with any particular watch or so on? So this is again one particular type of factor when we are talking about that information search. So there is ease of use and there is connectivity or usage with already existing gadgets. That also, right? Yes.
So we should come through all the features of that particular, that smart. If you're talking about the smartphone, then we should also take the source of the features available for that particular.
Yeah. And the second very fact which you need to understand, it depends from individual to individual.
Yeah.
Right. For example, if I'm not tech savvy, so in that case, I'm going to look at ease of use. if I'm a tax savvy customer, so whatever I discussed later, that I'm going to look at Bluetooth, I'm going to look at connectivity, I'm going to look at n number of other things. So from customer to customer, it is going to vary. That which particular information I'm going to search while buying a product. Easiest, which you people discussed about, the easiest way is I'll check the brand, I'll check the price. So for example, I'm not aware about ease of use, technicality, which I'm talking about. I'm not assured that whether this product is good enough or not. So to reduce that particular risk, n number of times, customers go with most popular brand.
Yeah.
Right? So this is another thing which is related with information search. So which particular information in particular criteria customer is going to look at. And as a marketer, what is, or entrepreneur, what is my role there while they are searching for this information? Am I there or someone on my behalf? So when I'm talking about, am I there as a marketer? So my presence need to be there either as in social media or whatever that customer is looking for. Maybe at neighborhood store as a salesperson, maybe they're on a laptop, phone, or so on. So when that particular customer is searching for that particular information, am I there in his territory as a marketer or an entrepreneur? If I'm there in his territory, then half of the problem is going to be solved. Say I make wonderful product category, but that customer there is not aware about what am I going to sell. So in that particular case, one, you need to understand that information, what type of information customer is searching for. And second, which is related with when he or she is searching for that information, whether am I there in his or her territory. Now let's move next. So once the information search, which we talk about, right? So I had a discussion on all these factors with you people, but a number of times it related with product factors, that whether the product styling is changing or so on. There is a price changes in product, high prices or so on. So this information I am going to search for. There is a social or situational factors also. Situational factors consist of experience. So is it my first time purchase? Do I have any type of past experience or not? My past experience is unsatisfactory in nature. So if my past experience we'll talk about unsatisfactory in nature, so what is going to happen? Am I going to search more or am I going to search less? If your past experience with product is comparatively bad, unsatisfied you are with, and now you are going to change that existing product, so your information search is going to be extensive or limited?
It's extensive.
Very extensive, yes, because you are not satisfied, that hence you are now more cautious about certain particular factors, and hence your purchase is going to be extensive in nature. Likewise, n number of times where there is social acceptability related with product category. So then at that moment of time, the products which are socially visible, I only had taken an example that is of gift, but n number of other items at your home which are socially visible. So for socially visible product categories, the search is going to be very, very extensive in nature. Compare in between, right, the things which are there at your living area where somebody from outside will come and sit. So the product which are there, you consciously, right, buying that, and n number of things related with that. Then it is related with value related consideration. It's a simple that how or what type of value that product is going to give. And then, yes, of course, there are demographics as well as personality traits related with every product categories information search, which you are going to have. So these are the few factors which are influencing your product. N number of brands. For example, you people told me about price, you people told me about brand, we discussed about ease of use, we discussed about technicality or so on. So I decided that I look at brand, I look at price, I look at size, I will look at technicalities of product and n number of other things while I'm going to decide about the brand. So these 5 parameters I'm going to consider. And I'm going to evaluate, let's say, 3 brands on these 5 parameters, right? When I'm evaluating, let's say, brand A, brand B, and brand C on 5 parameters, which we decided, then it is being named as evaluation of alternatives, a third stage of consumer behavior buying. So what are alternatives? Alternative is brand A, alternative is brand B, alternative is brand C. So toothpaste, Colgate, Close-Up, and some local Pepsodent we'll talk about. And we are going to evaluate on the basis of brand name, on the basis of price, on the basis of quantity which they are offering, because you are aware about n number of times, there are certain type of discounts which are going on or so. So this is what, when as a customer, I am evaluating whether I'll buy A or B. Now, how I am going to evaluate the same? Mamta, you want to add anything?
Please, please.
Yeah. Victor, something from your side?
No, I'm okay. No,
Okay.
I'm okay. No problem.
Okay, great, great, great. So I hope we all are together till here. Okay, good enough. So we are talking about that how. So we discussed that these A, B, and C are going to our alternatives. And we are evaluating these alternatives on certain parameters. While these brand names are outcome of information search we had done. So from information search, we discussed about that we try to look at different particular brands or so on. So there are 3 particular type of brands which came out of the information search. One is known as evoked set. Evoked set is known as consideration set, which is a set or brand name, which I am going to evaluate in a particular category of products. So these A, B, and C are my consideration or evoked sets. Then comes inept set, which consists of brands that consumer exclude from the purchase. Maybe there is an availability of that particular brand. Maybe they feel that they are inferior in nature because of quality, because right, we already discussed about that. He had used that particular product earlier and it was unacceptable. He was not satisfied with that product or so on. So the brands which he is aware about, but he is not going to consider while evaluating the alternatives, that will come as inept set. And inert set is, I am aware about those brands, but I'm not going to consider. So I'm indifferent about those brands. That is what known as inert set. So there are these evoked, inept, and inert, and evoked is A, B, C for us in this very case. Right. Now, A, B, C, we discussed that we are going to work on brand, we are going to work on price or so on. So here I say I like the brand A, not brand B. I love brand C as a customer, right? Price, brand B is very expensive, so I don't want to purchase it. Brand A is also very expensive, but brand C is okay for me. Right. The third, we are talking about quantity, which you people had given me as one of the perspective. So A's quantity is good, right? For example, they are giving good quantities, pack size is bigger. B's pack size is also bigger, and C is also providing the same quantity. Now, out of these three, which particular brand I'm going to buy? The brand which has or which passed through maximum criteria, that particular brand as a customer we are going to buy, and this is what known as evaluation of alternatives, right? So that may be n number of A. Not the another perspective. I am aware about as a marketer that as a brand, I'm going to be evaluated by customer on the basis of brand name, on the basis of price, on the basis of quantity. So I need to come up with something new, which others don't have, but I'll have, so that I'll have one more tick mark and chances of purchase of my brand is going to be comparatively higher. So the movement we are talking about FMCG products, which are routinized in nature, most of the time they are searching for how they are going to add one more feature, one more attribute in that particular brand so that it will be going to be, or it is easily acceptable. Are we together till here? Yes, Sebastian, go ahead. Sebastian, you raised your hand. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying something?
You have some question?
No. I was trying to participate, but I can't hold it.
I hope that this you are able to understand. Okay. So can you people think about any particular brand or product where that is of your choice, your company, where you think that they came up with this new attribute or feature, and hence it just changed the perception of customers that how they are evaluating the product. Any particular product category. Think about gadgets, think about smartphones, think about OTT platform, think about any product which you are using right now. Yeah.
Sorry, can you please repeat the question, Professor, please?
Victor, we are talking about evaluation of alternatives.
Yes.
Right. We discussed about basis on which it being evaluated, like brand, price name, quantity, or so. Now, as a marketer, you need to come up with any feature or attribute of the product so that customer is going to evaluate different brands on that new parameter also. So my question was, are you people able to think about any brand or product which had used this perspective, where they added some new attribute or feature in product and customer started evaluating it on that parameter? Yes, Mamta, go ahead.
So we can take the example of the toothpaste. Just now it's a Patanjali toothpaste, which is free from the chemicals. So
Yes.
the customer, the consumer can think about that attribute, that feature. Okay, this is the fear from the chemicals, and then so why not go with this product nowadays?
Good.
So
So
that can
for-
evaluate on that basis also.
Yes, Mamta, that's a very good perspective. For others, participants, those who are not able to understand, to make them easier, to make easier for them, Mamta is talking about one particular perspective you all are aware about, that is organic in nature. So the products which are chemical free. So that organic or chemical free is a new feature or new attribute, rather, not a feature, a new attribute which being added by n number of companies, where they came up with the idea that our products are organic in nature. Our products are chemical free. They not only entered into the parameter set of customer, rather, because of them, already existing companies launched few of new brands. For example, Colgate, you all are aware about. So Colgate came up with one range where they are talking about it is an organic toothpaste. So this is one new parameter which being added by them. Right. So likewise, if we'll talk about e-commerce, you all are using in your countries. So what e-commerce had done, they came up with this perspective that how early they will deliver the product. So for some companies, you will order today, they'll deliver same day within few hours. So earlier it was delivery at my place. Now it is delivery on my choice within minimum time. So I'll compare e-commerce platform A, B, and C, and my one of the parameter will be delivery time. The one who is going to take minimum time to deliver that product to me. A new parameter which being added by companies. And then yes, right, you need to maintain, you always will have first mover advantage, but others will follow that. So this is a role of evaluation of alternatives for marketeers. I'm going to do it as customer, I'm going to evaluate also. Yes, Victor.
Can we consider also the cell phones as well? Because
Yes,
you
we
remember
can
that later
consider.
on, yes, we are using the legacy phones. Now we're using smartphones. I don't know.
Yeah, Victor, not only smartphone, if we'll talk about, right? Smartphones now came up with n number of things. For example, that smartphone is now smartainment. So you are watching movies on your smartphone. You are watching OTT on your right. That is n number of applications which are for if we'll talk about entertainment, that is on your smartphone. So the second particular thing which is now a smartphone is not for communication, rather for entertainment also. Then there is a third category of customers, those who are buying smartphones, those who are vloggers, right? Those who are making some kind type of vlog or so on. So again, that is related with the third particular feature, that is camera of that.
Camera one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Photographing or all those things.
Photography is related with camera. So there are
Similarly, you can take the smartwatch also for the health perspective. Also, they are going to be used for the
Yes.
measurement of their heartbeat and then BP and then other sort of things. So.
Yes, sure, Mama. Yes, you're right.
So that is health, right? For health also. So there are right n number of, so there is some new thing which is coming every time, which being added in your smartphone. From entertainment, health, she is talking about. Then there is employment purpose, like for example, these vloggers are getting some money while having their videos, right, on different platforms also. Influencer marketing. And for influencer, what does it need? Simple, that phone and camera.
Camera on it,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
So let's move further now. So ultimately, we are going to reach there at purchase decision. So for purchase decision, okay, there is this example that is from Sebastian that he was trying to talk about Apple in its 22 conference. They released a new colorway without any other upgrade. So there are that particular kind of thing also, that in how many colors the product is available, that may be one of the parameter while deciding about the product which we are going to buy while evaluating the alternatives. So let's talk about purchase decision now. In purchase decision, we are going to talk about that after evaluation of alternatives, whether we want to purchase the product or not, and definitely that attitude of others. And is there any type of unanticipated situation? For example, sometimes there are some type of situational factors. For example, when COVID came, then n number of, and that was an unanticipated situational factor, and many of the customers postponed their purchases also. And ultimately, it is going to be purchase decision. And then after purchase decision, we'll talk about post-purchase behavior. So whether you are happy with the product or you are not happy with the product. So there is positive disconfirmation of expectation, and there is negative disconfirmation of expectation. Positive disconfirmation of expectations occurs when product's performance exceeds expectations. You didn't expect it, the product is going to perform well, but it is way better than your expectation. So it is positive disconfirmation of expectations. And in this case, customer is going to be highly satisfied. Then there is negative disconfirmation of expectations when performance is below expectations and customer is going to be dissatisfied. And last is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is mental discomfort where people experience when they face conflicting information about an attitude or object. Now, what is that? You decided that I'm going to buy this product. So let's say there are two brands in two colors, let's say apparel brands. And you had taken white color shirt, you finally purchased, you reached your home. And now you are thinking the black shirt which you didn't purchase, that is also good. That also looked good at me. So whether I had taken a right decision or not, that is your cognitive dissonance. You purchased a smartphone and now you are thinking, maybe after 15 days, the same company would have been launching their new brand or a new phone, which is updated one. So whether I made the right decision or not. So that is what your mental discomfort is after buying a product. And it is known as cognitive dissonance. See, cognitive dissonance from customer perspective will always be there. A number of times you are buying the product and you are thinking that whether you made the right purchase, whether the one which you left that was better or the which you purchased, that need to be better or so on. So in this particular scenario, when there is a cognitive dissonance cases, there is a need that someone will come and just pat at back of customer and say, yeah, you had taken a right decision. Don't worry. So who is going to be do this particular thing that, hey, bro, you had made the right decision while buying a product. Just come and pat the back of that person to reduce that cognitive dissonance. So who according to you will play this role? I hope my question is clear.
Yeah, anyone can be, I think, the family members, our friends, and then.
So Mamta, in this particular case, the marketer, the company, or organization from whom you had purchased this particular product need to play this role, the one who will come and pat your back. Now, how they are going to do so? They are doing it in n number of ways, where n number of times they are talking about that you are a proud member of community of 1,000+ people, right? The product which being purchased by you, you are our 1 millionth customer. So that cognitive dissonance is going to reduce. You received one message on your smartphone that you are a part of our community, where not only you purchase this product, rather you are going to get some advices by, or let's say if it is a fashion product, so this XYZ influencer, he also purchased the same product or so on. So in that case, what is going to happen, right? Somebody is there to motivate you that you had taken a right decision or so. And in this particular case, marketer need to perform this task because ultimately you had purchased my product and I owe something to you as consumer. So this is what, right? There are certain particular type of techniques which come in picture, which is in post-purchase behavior. And there are a number of communities. If you people are aware about Harley Davidson bikes. So Harley have their own community of bikers. And when people are buying that, they feel proud to be a part of that community. Likewise, there are a number of companies, right? Those who have that particular community where they are talking about that you are a part of this big community or so on, or you are doing or you are buying this particular product, you are a proud owner of this product category or so on. Now let's move further and try.
Before to move further, I just want to make me clear myself.
Yeah.
This is the post behavior. Yes. The positive disconfirmation of expectation. Is this we can relate to the influencer marketing? Because, you know.
I see, Mamta, there are expectations, right?
Okay.
So there are two particular things when we are talking about, which is simple related with. One, that what are your expectations with the product category? Forming that expectation, there may be a role of influencer.
Yeah.
That when you are going to buy this product, you can expect this. But for positive disconfirmation of expectation, ultimately, it is you are the one who will either like it or not like it. Forming that expectation, influencer is going to make a role.
Yeah, because if you talking about the post-purchase behavior, it is in positive aspect. So I think after going to be used that material, I can suggest the other one also.
Yes.
So that counts under the influencing marketing.
That is influencer. Yeah.
That's I want to make clear that if there is a positive, the positive response after purchasing the materials, so it count as a influencer marketing strategy, I think.
Yes, it is a part of influencer marketing.
Yeah, it is a part of, or we can relate this to influencer marketing.
And Mamta, right, the influencer marketing starts with warm, that is word of mouth.
Yes,
so I may not be an influencer as an individual person, but I'm a part of word of mouth in certain
word of mouth. Yeah,
so word of mouth, right, from if we'll ask from where influencer marketing originates, the root is there in word of mouth.
So unless we are satisfying with a particular product, our mouth is not going to be workable, No. So that's it. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mamta. So Divya, can we continue from here?
I was just about to say, let's take a short break and then we continue.
Yeah, sure. So we are going to take a break of 15 minutes and after that we will continue with this.
Sure. So actually we can take 10 minutes. Is it
okay? Sure, Divya. 10 minutes. Okay. So we'll resume at
12:26.
Sure.
I'll type. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So welcome you back and let's start our discussion further We discussed till post-purchase behavior, where discussion was based on positive disconfirmation, negative disconfirmation, as well as cognitive dissonance. Now, it is very difficult for marketers that how they are going to decode consumers' mind. A number of times, your product is one of the best one. You are providing or offering that product at best price. Best price, when I'm talking about, it simply means that comparable to your competitors. But it happens that product being not adopted by customers or liked by customers. Hence, in marketers' language, it is very difficult to decode consumer's mind, and the consumer mind is black box. This black box consists of internal influences, customers' own characteristics, as well as how they are going to respond to their environmental stimuli. So how is it going to work? So this is black box. And inside customer's black box, there is memory, knowledge. So since our childhood, we are looking around our surroundings. We have memories pertaining with certain particular product categories, how our parents, as well as peers, colleague groups, or so on, using that or so on. Our exposure, attention, and how we comprehended that. Motivation, our culture, value, as well as attitudes. Outside this box, if we'll talk about, there are two things. One, that is marketing variables. I'm so sorry. There are marketing variables which consist of marketing mix. So this you are able to control as a marketer. You decide design about product, price, place, promotion, as well as you people already have knowledge now about other components which being used in service marketing also. Outside these box is another which has social influences, situation, as well as culture. As a marketer, again, I have comparatively very minimal role to play here in social influences, situation, and culture. I don't have any control over here also, that what customer is going to do or so on. So I need to influence customers with the help, I have this, and second, some control over social influences and situations. But I may not able to decode the customer's mind. But it doesn't mean that as a marketers, you are not going to do efforts. You will continue to make efforts, that how you will motivate them. You will continue to make the efforts, that how you will able to add on certain type of knowledge, so that ultimately it is going to lead towards this particular product or your price or so on. Now, we had done purchase decision, post-purchase, or so on. As a marketer, first you need to understand these different perspectives which are there, that what is there in knowledge as well as memory of customers. So let's say, if you are going to capture the segment which is Gen Z, or the segment which are millennials, how will you able to use memory as well as knowledge? Now, these Gen Z as well as millennials, as a segment have different type of exposure when they were growing up. So you need to focus your research on same and then come up with certain particular product categories or so that you are able to impact their memory as well as knowledge over here. I'm repeating, you don't have any control, but you have a power to influence. So as a marketer, if your research is right, then you are able to influence this black box of consumer behavior n number of times. So now there is change in consumer behavior due to, we discussed about volatile environment. So how has socioeconomic background, if we'll talk about, being changed consumers' way of life, that include affordability, lifestyle change, and awareness towards the health and hygiene, and how has the socio-economic background led to the adaptation in consumers' buying behavior. So if you look at the environment since last 2-3 years is volatile in nature. Affordability, lifestyles, as well as awareness being changed towards all these things. So there are this we can or we are able to include in consumers or change in consumers due to volatile nature. Consumer socio-economic background that include occupation, their employment status, family earning status, their way of life that include affordability, lifestyle changes, health and hygiene. And now these two factors which being changed led towards the adaptation that is simply related with new demand for wellness product. Substitution of products due to affordability and substitution of certain products due to health and hygiene. So can we think about certain particular product categories which being emerged in the category because of this volatile environment, because there is a changing way of life in consumers, because they are more considerate about health and hygiene? Any particular product categories? Because we are talking about that because of this volatile environment, which all of us faced, and some of the countries are still facing, right? So there is a change in consumer behavior. And because of that, there is adaptation in certain product categories. So there is new demand for wellness products. My question is simple. Can we think about as well as share some of the new demands pertaining to wellness products? Okay, so there is Sebastian talking about education. I totally agree that from in-person to virtually, yes, and that being diluted walls as well as you need not to travel, that saves cost also, you have comparatively more exposure. So this is one particular behavior or one disruption which came, that is because of consumers changing way of life. Education is one of the sector. Any other sector? Any other product category? So most of us are now in this particular new era where we all started using wellness products. Wellness products, like for example, not only wellness, rather certain particular hygiene products. For example, when we are talking about sanitizers, right? So sanitizers is one product category which get popularized because of this word which being changed. Substitutions which being due to affordability. So different particular product categories, if we'll talk about, in all those categories, small sizes, small SKUs, as well as economic substitutes being launched. EVs or electronic vehicles is example, that is substitution due to not only affordability rather than volatile word, because we all are aware about that where we are moving. And that's why you all had seen in different countries, there is adoption of or adaptation in consumer behavior, that is of electronic vehicles, which is also important for our environment. Technology also being changed in a number of product categories, adaptations in consumer buying behavior. So these are changes which happen because customer in or due to volatile environment. Now, what are the shifts which being happen, right? So here I have taken few of the researchers and we divided the category or stage of consumption cycle into three. That is choice, usage, and disposal. So if we talk about the 5-step model, which we discussed, which is related with buying behavior, we started with need recognition, then we had done information search, evaluation of alternative, purchase, and post-purchase. The very first stage of your consumption cycle where we are talking about choice is related with need recognition, information search, and evaluation of alternatives. So there you are deciding about which particular product you are going to buy, what will be the information from where you are going to get that product. And the third, that is simple, related with evaluation of alternatives. Then comes second, that is usage. How will you use that product category, right? And ultimately, that is post-purchase. Either you will be satisfied with the product, dissatisfied with the product, and how you are going to dispose of that product. We had a discussion that how marketers are influencing choice of products. Any one of you tell me whether marketers are influencing individuals, that how do they use the product, whether usage of product being also influenced by marketers? Yes, anyone? Usage of products, usage of brands being influenced by marketers or not? Whether marketers, companies will tell you, will make you learn how to use this product, or it is your choice that in a manner you want to use that product, you are using the same. Yes, anyone? I hope my question is clear.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Victor. So whether marketers are influencing that, how you are using certain product categories?
Okay, I'm trying to think now, but I'm sure there is a lot of things on that.
Okay, so I'm just giving you a cue if you will able to get it and share some of your experience with us. Every other product which you are using, on that product, if it is FMCG, they had given instructions how to use. So for noodles, we were talking about it being written how to use, how to cook. If we'll talk about toothpaste, we discussed in our first session on packaging of toothpaste, it being written how to use. We discussed with you about a smartphone. So there are instructions there on packaging, a small booklet you usually will get how to use.
Yes, for the cleaning machines, there's a lot of things.
Yes, there are machines, there are lots. So every other product category which you are using is simply talking about how to use.
Whenever
Yeah.
Whenever any organization, any company launching the new product of the same brand, but the version is the different, they just that provide certain bullets or certain brochure why this version is required now, rather than the previous one. They highlight that particular concern only. That influence the audience to purchase the new version of. So I think in this way, the marketeers or organizations are influencing people to purchase that new version items or materials or products.
Yes, there is one particular factor. And second, right? When we are talking about how marketers are influencing us to use certain product categories, n number of times it being or instructions being written so that your consumption is going to be maximum, right? For example, the products which you are using, right, for eating, there are n number of recipes being written on that pack size. So when there are n number of recipes, which simply means that they are talking about n number of ways through which you can eat that. So it means that you are not going to use in one manner, rather in multiple manners. When you are going to use it in multiple manners, it means usage is going to high, you are going to consume more. You are going to consume more for same reason you are going to buy more. So this is one particular factor through which these companies are trying to influence that how the customer can use more of that product category. So definitely there is an influence. For example, a simple chocolate bar can be used in n number of manners. You can gift it, you can eat it. If your blood sugar is low, you can have that piece of chocolate. If you want to make a cake at home, you can use that chocolate for frosting or so. So there are n number of ways which they are discussing. So rather than only consuming that chocolate by eating, now I have 5-6 different manner in which, or as well as situations in which I am able to use that. My consumption is going to be high in that case. So there are and then there are plenty of companies, those who are trying to influence that consumption.
Yes.
So now move back, let's come back to this perspective that how stages of consumption behavior will be influenced, or how there is a shifting in consumer behavior. So when we are talking about consumption cycle, which I already told you that it is according to 5-stage model, which we discussed: choice, usage, and disposal. So there is a social influence, there is a habit, because we are talking about this shifting. So shift is social influence, habit, individual self, feelings and cognition, as well as tangibility. And if we look at that how in these 3 stages shifting has been done, so simple that people are trying to engage themselves in certain product categories. And these are new product categories which are getting popular in all around over the world, like for example, solar panels. Likewise, new sustainable habits, which we all are going to have, where we are talking about sustainability of certain product categories as well as certain other things. Electronic vehicles is example of this, which I discussed with you earlier. Likewise, green products, which lead towards that we need to work on our environment also. Sustainability, eco-friendly products. So these all are related with social influence, habit, individual self, feeling, cognition, and how it can be changed into tangibility. So maybe right, recycling of the product. So there are n number of companies, those who are trying that how products can be recycled. H&M and Zara is talking about that you are supposed to give them the product back and they will give you certain discounts or so because they want to recycle those product categories. So because of marketeers, that recycling is going to be a behavior of customer, where they are trying to recycle to reduce their guilt that I'm buying so much, and it has negative impact on environment of earth. So now let's move further. So there are some applications of consumer behavior we are going to talk about. You already had discussion about marketing. So how do they two related? So what task does this product or service is going to dish up for consumers in target market? Attributes as well as feature of products we discussed about, that how it is going to be significant in the target market. What kind of packaging as well as labeling is required? How many variation or sizes of the products are needed to gratify the target market? And how much the consumers in target market is ready to pay? And what are the finest media to reach the consumer for a particular product as well as target market? So when you know the customers, when you know that where are they, what are their habits related with using media. So for example, if we'll talk about social media, so there is few in certain segments, those who are still on Meta or Facebook. Then there are few those who are on Insta. Then there are those who are on Snapchat. Then there are some those who are on some other media or so on. So first, I need to understand that where are they? And the second, how do I reach them? So where are they, the ones, those who are using my product? Whether they are on Insta, whether they are on Facebook, whether they are on any other social media app. If in today's scenario, we are talking about all these applications, they may be in any particular traditional media. For example, if they are on newspapers. So am I aware about that, where my customer is and what exactly they are reading? And how am I going to reach them? So what are the finest media to reaching a target market for a particular product category? And that I'm only able to understand when I able to know that where my consumers are in that scenario or that particular case. So now I'm going to start with, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, because we are going to start with our next topic that is related with segmenting and understanding the segmentation of new customers. Yeah, anyone? So let me start with. Where the slides are visible?
Not yet.
Yes, not yet.
I'm trying to share that. Just give me a moment. No, it is still not visible. Please have patience for 2 minutes. Is it visible now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we are going to start with now unlocking the potential in newly emerged customer segments. And this is the one perspective, right, which we tried to discuss in our first session also, that customer segments or so. So I'm considering that you all are aware about that customer segments, right? Although definition is right now there in front of your screens, but then too, I want to understand your perspective related with market segments. Yeah, anyone?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, Professor?
Victor, what is your understanding about market segments?
It's the way where we let's say the way we divided the different segments, the different.
Okay.
It's the way we divided the market itself. Yeah.
Good, Victor. Mamta, you want to add something?
Yeah, market segmentation means you, as the Victor told, the dividing or just that grouping of your target group. That means which market you want to target it, which level of your customers, age level, or that kind of I think comes under the market segmentation.
Great, Mamta. So when we are talking about segments, as you people said, that we need to convert this heterogeneous groups into homogeneous groups, right? Simple, the reason so that I need not to do efforts, and with optimum utilization of resources as a marketer, I'll reach to a group, those who have common interest or so. So when we are talking about market segments, there are n number of ways through which you can do market segments or so on. But there are two particular extremes of the segmentation which you need to understand. One is mass markets, where there is no division, no segmentation, and one product is for all. And another extreme is one-to-one marketing, where each individual is important and where each individual, a single individual, have different type of needs or so. So there are companies, those who are treating every individual as one segment, and that becomes one-to-one marketing. Most of the time, companies, right, those who are very high in technology, adopted certain particular things or so, they are trying to concentrate with the help of technology in this one-to-one marketing. And maximum of them are in between, where they are trying to concentrate on different segments or so. So there are two particular, when we are talking about how with the help of technology, we are able to do one-to-one marketing or customization. The example or a case of this one-to-one marketing from one of the Indian company that is in industry of paint. Paint is one that which is used to paint the walls at homes or residents or so on. So initially when this company started, they were in segmentation, where a type of color being liked by me, you are in some different segment, you like some other color or so on. So what they had done, then they try to understand the colors which being liked by one individual, the other person may not be liked that color or so on. And they treat it, every individual, every household as one individual segment. So what they had done, they made the base color, which is same, And according to your choice, whatever color you come up with, they'll provide you that color paint for your home or for your residence. So this is right, the color which I like may be different from Victor's colors, maybe from Mamta's colors or so on. And all of us are like, right, getting the color of our choice. And that is what one-to-one marketing or mass customization. Where customization being done according to choice of customer. So this is one particular thing. Now there are certain particular factors which we need to consider while we are doing the segmentation. There are customer intrinsic attributes which you all are aware about, that on the basis of demographics or so on we are going to do so. And then there are consumption based factors. Consumption based factors means that how am I going to consume certain product categories? So the product volumes which I'm going to purchase, what is my frequency or rate of purchasing, what is my leisure activities or so. So these are quantitative but consumption based factors. Then there are cognitive factors which are psychological in nature, on which you can go towards segments which are consumer intrinsic factors, which includes personality traits, cultural values, attitude towards society, social issues or so on. And consumption specific, that is benefits which as a customer we are going to receive from product categories or so on. And for segmentation, it being said that if it is need to be effective, you need to check certain particular parameters. The very first parameter is segment is identifiable by its demographics. So gender, age, income, family size, right? You can go for and see that whether you are able to identify this segment by demographics or not. Because you are deciding to enter that particular segment, you also need to look at that whether this segment is profitable in nature. So whether you people will get, or as a companies you will get that much size of market that you will have profits in your hand. So whether that segment is so big or not. Segments need to be stable in nature. It usually need not to shrink. If segment is increasing in size, as a company, it is going to be always helpful for you. But if a segment is going to start shrink, then there is question mark on you, right? Then you need to search for new segment or enter in some particular new areas or so. For example, we all are aware about, there are few countries or continent in this world which are aging. So Europe is aging, where average age of people are comparatively at higher side, right? Japan is aging, where age of consumers are comparatively at higher side. It means that the segments which are comparatively for lesser age group, they are shrinking, right? So in that particular case, what they are supposed to do, either they need to enter the newer segment, that may be older generation, older segment, or they need to search for same segments in new countries. For example, what H&M, if you people are aware about, as well as Zara had done, because their segments were shrinking, hence they decided to enter in new markets where they are able to get these segments. And then definitely you need to look at that how segments being reached. Now we all are aware about that what segments are, but how segments being done that we are not. So my request to all of you, right, I have taken this global customer. If you are able to do profiling of this consumer, according to you, right, what is his age group, if we'll talk about demographics, right? What is, according to you, his different demographic profiles. For example, family, if you can able to consider. Income, you are able to consider with the help of gadgets, which as well as attire, which he is wearing. If you are able to consider some other type of practice, so that we are able to understand that this consumer belong to which particular segment. Yeah. I hope you people are able to understand what you are supposed to do.
Dr. Pooja, I think everyone is muted. Maybe that's why.
So am I supposed to unmute them, Divya?
No. I think they are in sync. Just
Yeah. Mamta, can we start with you?
Yeah, yes, I'm thinking about this picture, that particular customers demographically he belongs
Yeah.
to by the age. He's a professional
Yeah.
and then having a good capacity of purchasing and thing just looks like
Okay.
and then so being a professional, he's that what I mean to say that purchase, yeah, we can he's that mature person, so he can take the mature decision also for purchasing.
Okay.
It looks
So
like
we can
that.
also say he's a tax savvy, because you said that according to gadgets he is
Yeah, tax. That's also right. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said that his purchasing capacity is comparatively very high because he is using a number of gadgets.
And then also seeing the attires, whatever he used, and then so this much analysis from my side.
Okay. Can we say because he is using a number of gadgets, that's why he is aware, his awareness is comparatively high?
Yeah, awareness. That's he's a mature person, as well as using the different kind of gadgets. That's the awareness capacity, getting the awareness or get to source the market. I think the having a capacity to explore the market.
So awareness is going to be high in that particular case. Anybody else? Sebastian, can we have few points from your side? Okay. I think Sebastian is not able to unmute himself. Victor, any person? Yes, Mr. Than, would you like to add something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe many segmentation in a customer profile. It may be maybe family or married or single, old ages or teenagers, younger kids, and their belief and attitude. And something like this, there may be a lot of profile in customer. We can classify or segment into so many cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Than. So from Mr. Than, I can write that one that is family he discussed about, then marital status that he may be single or he may have family, he said. So if you will look at, right, we try to do the consumer profiling. Victor, would you like to add something? We are doing consumer profiling of this customer who is on the screen.
Oh, not yet. Proceed. Not yet.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. So if you will look at, right, whatever we discussed, we try to reach to this conclusion. One, that is awareness. Second is purchasing capacity, because there are n number of gadgets which are around. Third, tech savvy. Fourth, that that is common, right? His gender. Fifth, his awareness. And as well as he seems to be like a global consumer, because the brands as well as n number of other things which being used. Now, when we are talking about segmentation, you need to do profiling of same n number of customers on the basis of their demographics, as well as on the basis where they are or so. We are not talking about where this customer is or he belongs to which particular country. Rather, because he is tax savvy as well as connected to n number of gadgets or so, we are treating him as a global consumer. Right. So when we are talking about global consumer, it will be comparatively easier for me as any multinational company to target this customer or to segment similar kind of consumers, those who have awareness related with some kind type of technology or so. When I'll make a group of these similar kind of consumers, then that will be a part of my segmentation. So there are certain other things which we usually need to add in elements of consumer profile. That is geography, as because of image, we are not able to understand that what his geography is. And we considered his as global consumer, is behavioral as well as psychography. And on that particular basis, we'll talk about this RFM model, which is recency, frequency, and monetary value. Recency means how recently has your customer made purchase. So from this segment, how recently did you acquire this customer? Frequency related with how often has your customer made the purchase. So weekly, after every alternate day, in certain case of dairy product, it may be daily or so. So what is the frequency of purchase which customer are doing? And monetary value is how much money does your customer spend on every purchase. So this is different particular elements of consumer behavior. And after this, these elements, there will be a group, and that group is going to be segment. So we are trying to find out homogeneity in consumer profiling. And then that homogeneity will be converted into segments. Now, there are key consumer segments which we are going to talk about. So during COVID, if we'll talk about, there are these new customers or these new segments emerged. The very first is hibernate and spend. The second is related with save and stockpile. So because they were thinking that they are not able to get the products, that's why they are stockpiling certain things. The third category is hardest hit by pandemic, and they are saving because they don't have that much of money. And the fourth category, which is only 2%, they decided that we are not going to change our habits, rather we will stay calm. Then comes 21, 22, when the scenario, the environment has comparatively certainty, right? So we are talking about uncertain environment. In uncertain environment, what kind type of segments came? And then there is certain environment, which is post-COVID. And in post-COVID environment, these segments being came. There are people, those who back with bank. They spend money in all different category. And n number of time, the segment being named as revenge shopping segment. Now, what is revenge shopping? That because during those days in most of the countries when there was a lockdown, they were not able to go out. They were not able to buy products or so on. So now they are taking the revenge and they are shopping with bang, spending so much or so. So this category for n number of companies are also known as revenge shoppers, and they are very happy with these revenge shoppers. Then there are people, those who are still cautious, but they also want to spend. Then there is a stay frugal, which are spending slightly less. And there are group of people, those who being affected because of their employment, job cuts, or so on. So they are keep cutting their spends or so. And the last category, they are get to normal and they are spending normal. So they are stay calm at the movement when there was a COVID as a new segment, and post-COVID, they are still normal, right? Everything is normal. They need not to spend more or so on. Now, if you are able to see question mark over here. So if we'll talk about in year 23, so what according to you, which particular new segment came? Is there any new segment which you are able to see? Yeah. In your countries, is there any particular new segment which is emerging? So well, I'll speak about India specifically. There is this one new category, right, which is coming up, which is technology, right? Technology dependent, right? And buying with bank. So technology and buying with bank, these are two particular segment which both come together and emerge as a new segment. For example, if we'll talk about ChatGPT. So adoption of ChatGPT, and people are doing here in India so many experiments with that. So it is a new segment which is ready to adopt innovations, but these innovations need to be related with technology or so on. So let's quickly go to our next slide, where these are few new segments. I am leaving you with that saving sentiment, data privacy and personalization segment, which is coming up with digital being embraced across demographics, ethics, as well as social causes, adapting to new normal routine is there, and vocal for local on the rise. With this, I am concluding my session. If you have any questions, please go ahead with that. Yeah. Any questions from your side?
No, it's okay from my side.
Thank you, Victor. Mr. Than, would you like to add something?
Okay. Thank you, Pooja. I think we should take a break and then rejoin. I think everyone needs to charge up a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
For this interactive session. Let's go for a break and join back at 1:45 IST.
Thank you, all the participants. Thank you, Divya.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, how many minutes will be the break, please?
Half an hour.
Half an hour, 30.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. 30 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Divya, good to go?
Yes, sir. All good to go. Please start.
Okay. So welcome to the afternoon session. This session will be taken by a very worthy faculty, Dr. Ruchika Nayyar. She is an associate professor of marketing in the marketing department of Amity Business School, Amity University. She is member of the program review committee for marketing and sales. She has done MBA from Banasthali Vidyapeeth, then PhD also, and she also holds a PG diploma in training and development. She has over 15 years of rich experience in the corporate world and academia. Her research interests are in the area of consumer psychology, advertising, and retail management. She has over 20 publications in national and international journals. Over to you, Ruchika.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll welcome all the participants for this executive course in a business administration, which is conducted by the Amity University, Noida. Now, getting it along onto a part, to introduce myself, I'm Dr. Ruchika Nair, and I'm being associated with Amity for almost 11 years now. And the area of interest that I'm going to get along onto a part is of consumer behavior and psychology, along with the advertising retail. So today we are going to get along onto the session of advertising and what basically the advertising is all about and how there is a shift onto a part of the mindset of the customers into a market, because as of now there are ample modern marketing tools which has emerged into a market, and with these modern marketing tools, if you have to talk about, they have a very effective advertising strategies which normally the firms are going to opt with a whole lot of a kind of reach that they want to get along onto a part of the customers into a market, and with that particular thing they want to get it along onto a part of the frequency also. So if we have to get it along onto a part, I hope all the participants are being there. So if I have to get it along onto a part, I hope you all are being using the digital part of advertising. You have seen a whole lot of advertisements on various social media platforms, or maybe you are going to see those advertisements even if you are going to log in on to Google or maybe any other search engine. So how many of you actually think that these advertising, which they get it along onto a part of the digital platform, is going to have an impact onto our customers? How they work onto that particular part?
Yeah, I think, may I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, it's a great impact to the right customer. As you all know that nowadays every person are using their smartphone every time they are in internet and then all social media. So if you are striking every time giving this advertisement for certain product, definitely it works in, it counts that particular person's mind. And then if repeatedly if you are watching anything, it's really, that happens something in your mind, and then it enforces you to think about that product, or as I believe now that it works very well, digital advertisement.
But if I have to get it along onto a part, let's say everybody uses a smartphone nowadays.
Yeah.
And they get along and they have an exposure to a whole lot of our social media sites.
Yes.
Say something is being prompt and something you have seen as an advertisement or a banner. How do you feel that the customer is going to respond to that particular advertisement, or how they are going, or they respond to it, or they do not respond to it? Now, anybody can give an answer onto a part. Is it so necessary that there are hundreds of advertisements that we are going to see it onto a daily basis on various platforms? So it is necessary that we are reacting to each and every advertisement?
No, it's dependent on your need. If you're going, it's dependent upon your need,
Yeah.
If something is going on in your mind that, okay, you are planning to purchase anything, either it's daily routine items or anything else, if at a time, if you know that they promptly, if you see any kind of advertisements, then you just click there. What is this? This is related to my requirement. So it's dependent upon your need, whether you're going to be click that advertisement or whether we are going to through that advertisement or not.
Yes. No. Maximum of the time, this customer click onto the advertisement only because of the need. But majority of the times, the customer clicks onto an advertisement out of a curiosity. Many of the times, sometimes there is a new product available down into a market, and with that particular new product, if you do not have any kind of an information related to the product and you are not aware about the product, in that particular case, you click on to those particular advertisement out of a curiosity. You don't click on to those particular advertisement onto a part of a need into a market. So getting along onto these particular factors or these particular parts, we have to understand what is basically the mindset of the digitally literate customers into a market, where and how we are going to design the effective advertising strategies for them. So getting along onto a part, they all are the social media sites where the customer is digitally literate now. And during the pandemic, the people have become more digitally literate because each and everything has started happening online. All of a sudden, the exposure to the real and the physical world come to a halt. We are not in a position to interact with the people. We are not into a position to meet with the people. So over a period of time, we have only opted for the platforms where we can meet them virtually, where we can interact with them virtually. If we are going to talk about this particular training session also, we are getting it along onto a part of a virtual platform where you all are sitting in your countries and we are interacting with each other. Now, I just want to get it along onto a part of certain advertisements, which is going to be there onto a part, and you have to get it along that what is your depiction and what is your perspective, or what do you think about these particular advertisements. I have kept two advertisements. One is an advertisement of a ketchup, which is Heinz. Another one is a advertisement of the whitening. It is a chewing gum which is going to whitening your teeth, and it is Happy Dent. These are the two advertisements which I have kept across. So if I have to, what is your prediction about these particular two advertisements, or what do you exactly think about them? And I want that each and every one should participate in this particular exercise so that you're able to understand that how the creative strategies are built, what the company think before making any kind of an advertisement into a market. So just see this particular advertisement. We'll just have 5 minutes, have a look on these particular advertisement, and then we are going to have a discussion onto that. What do you think about these advertisements?
Okay. Maybe I will start. One is related with, let's say, ketchup, tomato sauce. And I think the target group will be the kids. And the other one is related with the toothpaste, which is showing that the teeth are the white teeth are very clean and so on. That's what you can see directly.
Any other perspective, Victor?
The other perspective is on the second one. As let me. Okay, I'm still checking, watching.
Then, what is your perspective about these advertisements, the two advertisements that you can see on your screen?
Yes.
What is your perspective? If you have seen these two advertisements, what do you think about them?
Yes, Mandy's, I think number one, picture is more effective more than others because they write down what they want, more recognized to customer. No one will get up like, and I think
I'm not able to hear you properly, and your voice is breaking in between. So the voice is not clear.
yes, number one, the image are maybe more effective to customer because they show once they will organize customer, they write down on out and below what they want to express their information. What they want to know customer, they express like no one will catch up like it's I think so.
Okay, Hida, you are there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is, no, I'm not talking about Divya, Hida.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Hida? Jose? Jose, Marissa, Rafael, Sebastian. Andrea. Kin, Helder, Dipesh.
May I say something, ma'am?
Yeah, please.
Just first I want to clear that whether are you asking from marketeer perspective or the consumer perspective, this advertisement? Yeah, that's I'm getting confused on that part.
I am asking first from a consumer perspective.
Yeah,
Because
what
when
I'm
you
getting
have-
through this advertisement, you mean to say that?
Yes. What you are getting through this advertisement?
Okay, the first advertisement is the ketchup advertisement, I know. And in the market, we know that different kind of brands are there of the for tomato ketchup. And the particular picture, whatever is mentioning, is that the tomato that's cutting down, it looks very fresh, no? With the green, you know, that there is a. So I think he wants to relay the message that it's the tomatoes, this ketchup made by the very fresh tomatoes, like this, you know, the whatever the pictures looking over there. So we feel like that fresh tomatoes, you know, using that for making this ketchup. As for my perspective, I just assume, just observe with this advertisement.
Okay.
And then the second one, you know, that here is a different kind of a different group of people. This covering, maybe it's a Happydent or just a chewing gum, or you can say the toothpaste, whatever. I don't know exactly the for which product, for which this advertisement is advertised, but as everyone is showing their teeth, and then even in dark there is a, you know, the elephant is there, I think. So it's covering, you know, it's capturing this advertisement. This cover the different market segment, you know, the different target groups. So this particular product is applicable for everyone, you know. But the second pictures, what I observed.
Okay. Anything else? Now, from a perspective that you are going to get it along, this is something which is a customer perspective. But if you have to think it from a marketer perspective or from a company perspective, those who have made this particular advertisement and they want to showcase it to the world, what do you think? What their perspective is all about? What their perspective is all about for the tomato ketchup and for the Happydent white chewing gum. The most important and the most peculiar thing about this particular advertisement is they want to position themselves into a market. I hope you all know about positioning. So they want to position themselves into a market, like we used to sell a ketchup which is purely based on tomato. There is no other ingredient in our ketchup, because maximum of the ketchup which is being sold into a market, they have another ingredient apart from a tomato into a market. They add a pumpkin into it, they add a potato into it, they add another artificial flavors onto that particular part. Hence wants to position themselves into a market as a pure tomato ketchup, which doesn't include any other ingredient, but yes, just a tomato. Coming down onto the second perspective, it is something which is going to get it along onto a part of a fairness, where they say that if you are going to chew this particular product, your teeth are going to brighten like a light. They're going to give you a kind of the light that you are looking forward to. Even if you are going to see the advertisement in which you are going to see the horns of an elephant, they are also having a light onto it. And rest of the other 6 advertisements are also going to talk in that particular manner. So that is what basically the positioning factor of the company is, that how they are going to get along with that particular brand into a market, how they are going to get it along onto a part where they want to understand that this is what is being expected by the customer. And yes, we are going to provide this thing to the customers into a market. I'll showcase to you and another advertisement onto a part where we have these 2 brands. We have Coca-Cola and we have Pepsi. Now, getting along Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola is a brand which is available throughout the world, except the 2 countries in which it is not available. Coca-Cola comes along with an Indian tagline. From an Indian perspective, if I have to talk about, it comes along with a tagline of open a Coke and open happiness. But the students or the people, those who are from there, from Peru, you have a Coca-Cola, but you have a Coca-Cola with some another name in your country. What that particular name of that particular brand is? Anyone who has been there onto a part of Peru? Because there are many participants from Peru. How you consume Coca-Cola in Peru?
Good night, Professor. Coca-Cola in
hi.
Peru is Coca-Cola. It's the same name, the same brand, and the against is Pepsi.
No, I just want to know with which brand you have Coca-Cola there.
Repeat the question, please.
Coca-Cola is named as what in your country? It is not Coca-Cola in your country. You name it with some, there is some another name for it.
It's Coca-Cola.
It's
The
Coca-Cola?
name. Sí.
Okay.
Yes.
Because getting it along onto a part, I heard that you call it onto a part of Inca Cola. Inca Cola is the same brand or it's a different brand there? Inca Cola is the same brand or it is a different brand?
Hello, Dr. Ruchika.
Hi.
This is Andrea.
Yeah, hi.
From
Andrea.
Peru. Yes, Inca Cola is a Peruvian brand,
Okay.
but it eventually got Coca-Cola bought it, and
Okay.
now it's part of Coca-Cola company. But Inca Cola is the main brand here in Peru. Everyone drinks Inca Cola. It has something special about the flavor that mixes well with Peruvian food. So this is primarily the drink that every Peruvian drinks here. And we call it Inca. An Inca, give me an Inca. We call it like that. And we buy Coca-Cola, we say, please, I want a Coca-Cola. Just call it like that.
Yeah. So that is what basically, because I think you people buy it onto a part of more as Inca instead of Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Yeah. So if that is being concerned onto a part, because and I think your tagline come across onto a part of El Sabor del Perro. I do not know how to pronounce it, but is it right or it is wrong? El Sabor del Perro.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
El Sabor del Perro.
Oh, yeah, very nice. El sabor del Perú.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was just going through onto a part, so I realized the tagline that you are going to get it across with it. It says that it is the taste of Peru.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. So that is what basically getting along, and you have a very different kind of the packaging of Enka over there in comparison to the Coca-Cola. If I'm not wrong, it is something which is related to a golden color in which you write Inca Cola.
Yes, it has a golden greenish color.
Golden
like
greenish color.
Yeah, like yellowish.
Yes.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why some people outside, abroad, they don't find it very appealing because of its color. It's like neon. It looks like that, right?
It's more onto a not brightening neon color, but a subtle neon.
Yes, it's a subtle neon, but the color isn't. I guess it's very appealing for people abroad because they are used to like black refreshments or clear refreshments or orange because of an orange or pink or red because there's like some strawberry there maybe, but this greenish or yellowish, what kind of fruit is it, right? So it's just common for us. We love Inca Kola, and it's as I said before, it's very special because I there is no Peruvian that cannot drink Inca Kola with the Peruvian food. It goes well with ceviche, with chifa, with pollo a la brasa, which is a roasted chicken here. And it just goes well. I don't know what they did on that, but they really nailed it.
Yeah, because getting along onto a part, because you need to interact with the audience, so you know what kind of an audience you have. And there I was reading and going through onto a part of understanding their advertising strategies, that how they are going to, they serve it onto a part as just like a very local drink, where each and every person who is being a part of that particular country can relate to that. They get along with that particular drink like anything. You cannot imagine your food, like you said, you cannot imagine your food without that drink. So that is what basically they did onto a part. Even if you have to talk about Myanmar, anybody from Myanmar?
No.
Anyone from Myanmar?
Yes.
And there are many participants from Myanmar.
Yeah, yes, we do.
Yeah. So if you have to get it along with the Coca-Cola, I think Coca-Cola is having a presence in your country for almost more than 6 decades.
Yes.
And there they are going to get along with a very different perspective into a market. Now, so what perspective they are going to give, and what kind of an advertising they are going to get along with the Coca-Cola there?
Yes, I think there may be differences in size and packages. Some Coca-Colas are packaged by bottle, some are think. There may be size and design and yes, I think.
Because if you are going to get it along with the Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola has a very much
yes.
They're on to a part of understanding the cultural diversity across the continent, and across the world onto a part, and there they are focusing on the various ways of attracting the customers into our market. In Myanmar also, I think the Coca-Cola is available with the same, this red and white color and with the black concentration into it. So there the positioning factor is there. Even if we are going to get it along with the Nepal also, there also the thing is being there onto a part, and it is more worked onto a part of the advertisement where they have the emotional appeals. Emotional appeals says that where you want to connect with the customers, where you want to feel like you want to showcase that, yes, this product is going to give you a kind of an emotion. You're going to celebrate it with your friends, with your family, with the people whom you love. That is how they are going to get it along with this particular parameter. So coming along on to another one, what makes a good advertisement? How you are going to get it along with the customers into a market? The most important factor that needs to be considered here is you connect with this audience. If the advertisement is not going to connect with the audience, if they are not able to get along with in the mind of the customer, then the customer cannot relate themselves with an advertisement. They didn't want to get along with the product with which they cannot relate, because all the advertisements which is going to be showcased, which is going to be showed, they always going to satisfy certain kinds of need, want, and desire of the customers into a market. So when they are going to get along with the need, want, and desire of the customer, the most important factor is to connect with them. The moment you are able to connect with the customer, you have done with a half job. Because there the customer feel like this is what is being needed. This is what I am looking forward to. This is what needs to be done onto a part. And it is something which is going to provide you with an information instantly. Anything which you are going to get it along onto a part, because you see the advertisements on a whole lot of media platforms, whether it is going to be a newspaper, whether it is going to be a TV or a radio, or maybe it is going to be there onto a part of some other sector. All the places you are going to see a whole lot of an advertisement. And if you are able to connect with those advertisements, and the advertisement is going to provide you the information that you are looking forward to, it means the company's half job is done. They always need to have all the advertisements that needs to work along onto a part. They look forward onto a part of a CTA, that is a call to action. Anybody can explain it onto a part, what a call to action is? Anybody can explain what a call to action is? No one?
No idea of this call to action.
Okay, how many advertisements you have seen and you feel like, okay, fine, this is what is being there. Anything that is going to come up with an advertisement and say you are going to get a flat 50% off, or you are going to get a cashback of 10,000 rupees, or whatever currency you have in your currency, they are going to give you the cashback offer, or they are going to have an attraction. If you come up with the cutting of this particular advertisement, the first 100 customers is going to get this particular product free, or they are going to get the passes for certain events which is going to happen. All these things, if you're going to come across, and if you are going to click onto this particular banner, or if you are going to make a payment while using any of the application, you are going to get a this much of a cashback. If you are a first time user, we are going to give you an additional discount of 10% or a 20%. All these things, if you have come across onto a part, they all are the advertisement which known for its CTA, that is call to action. Now this particular call to action is like you want to get that particular thing. The marketers, the company want that the customer should come and they should get onto a part. In maximum of the time or in advertising and marketing, we call it as a traffic. How much traffic you are able to generate, how much you are able to generate it onto the part of the customers into our market where they are going to reply onto the certain thing instantly without even giving a thought. There are ample advertisements that you come across where you are going to get it onto a part. Okay. So in cinemas or something app that says, watch it now. Yes, absolutely. Or maybe you are going to get it onto the various OTT platforms. OTT like Netflix, Amazon Prime, they all are being there onto a part where it is a call to action. Any new series is going to release, anything which is going to get along, it is streaming now, you can watch it on to this particular date. And even if you are being the first one to get it along and to click it or subscribe it, you are going to get 10, 20, 15% off, or you are going to get a goodie bag or maybe some loyalty bonus points. All these things, if you are going to watch it onto an advertisement, any advertisement, you call it as CPA, that is call to action. And the companies does that particular thing for a very limited period of time. It is not something that the company is going to do it for a very longer period of time. It is something you are going to get along onto a part of a very short span of time into a market. So that is what
Sorry, doctor.
basically. Sorry.
Sorry, doctor.
Yeah, please.
On that case, which are doing a promotion like buy one box and get one hat for free. We can call to action as well.
It is a call for action there also, but if they are doing it into a form of an advertising, if it is being advertised, it is being
advertising.
Yeah, in the form of an advertising. It can be in any advertising. It can be a banner, it can be a hoarding, it can be there it onto a part of a flex card, anything. If they are advertising about it, that if you're going to buy this one and you are going to get this free with it, yes, it is a call to action.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Now, once the company get along onto this particular part of an understanding, and this promptly features that the company get, the customer should get attracted towards the company. They should know which company is offering that particular thing. Because the moment they are going to get it along onto a part, it becomes very easy for the customers into a market to go onto a part of a brand recognition, the identity of that particular brand that you're looking forward to, or you are going to recall that particular brand at any point of time, because advertising is something where it is very repetitive in its nature. Because if you are not going to get along onto an advertising in a repetitive format, the customers into a market and their memory is something which is very short-lived. It's very short-lived. If you are not going to advertise about it, if you are not going to do any kind of a promotion related to your product into a market, the people will not be able to recall your brand into a market. Why they are not able to recall? If the company stop advertising and if they don't talk about their brands into a market, how does it work? How does it get along? How does it get along if you don't advertise?
There is no way unless you're talking with the people.
No, if you don't advertise your
If I don't-
product into a market, then if the people do not know what product you are selling into a market, what will happen to that particular product?
We remain on the tables, on the desks. We remain there.
So
And it will will be
so
out of the
you-
market
it will be out of the market. Why it will be out of the market?
because nobody knows about that.
Nobody knows about that. It may be a possibility that the competitor who is there into a market is going to take your position because
Yes.
you are not advertising, you are not promoting, and this is an advantage to them. They get into that particular way and they start selling their product more. They start advertising there more because if the customer do not have a recall factor, they're only going to pick up the product from the market which they remember.
Yes.
If they don't remember your product, they will not pick your product. So the repetition, the frequency, the reach should always be there for a good advertiser, for the good advertisement. Because if it is not going to happen, you will keep on losing your market share. The company doesn't walk along onto a path where the customer should come and pick their product. If you don't advertise, maybe the people, those who are purchasing your product for a certain point of time, they stop purchasing your product. They do not want to get along with your product because they feel like that you are not being there into a market and they go and pick some other competitor product into a market. They get along with that particular factor. And the last and the most important thing for a good advertisement is it doesn't confuse the viewers. The positioning of the advertisement, any kind of an advertisement, any kind of a product that you are showing to the customers into a market, it should get along onto a path that yes, this is what is being required. This is what we are going to do. The first and the last need should be in sync. If they are not going to be in sync, where the customer is not able to connect, you are not able to sell. So this is a cycle that needs to be completed by the advertisers and by the company into a market. If they are not able to complete with that particular cycle, the thing will not work onto a path. So this is what basically is going to get along onto a part that what makes a good ad or a good advertisement. The first thing, it should connect. The second thing, it should provide an information. It should call for an action. Then it is going to have a brand recall factor with a frequency, reach, and repetitions into a market. And then it should not confuse the customer. It should not get it along with a question mark that what exactly the company wants to sell to us. What exactly they are planning to get along with this particular advertisement or this particular product into a market. That is what makes the good advertisement. Anything anybody wants to ask or anything wants to talk about? Anything anybody wants to ask? Now, getting into the cross onto a part of this particular advertisement, if I have to talk about what makes a good advertisement, we need to relate it with the marketing funnel. The marketing funnel says how you are going to convert those particular advertisements into a sale. It's not about just showcasing your product. It's not about making customer aware about your product. It is about the selling also. Will after seeing the advertisement which is being showcased, the customer will come and buy my product or they'll not come and buy my product. That is the most important thing. And there, this marketing funnel plays a very important role. Now, how this marketing funnel is going to get across? We have divided that particular thing onto the various levels where it says you have an awareness, you have an interest, then there is a consideration about that particular product. When you develop an intent, you evaluate it, and finally you make a purchase. And this entire funnel is divided into 3 parts, where the first step comes along onto a part of a lead generation. The second step, you nurture that particular lead, and finally you are able to make a sale about it. So the first thing that we are going to get it across onto a part is creating an awareness. It says you create an awareness about that particular. How you create an awareness? You create an awareness with the help of advertising. You create an awareness with the help of various campaigns, trade shows, blogs, webinars. You send the direct mails to the customers, viral campaigns, social media, search media mentions, and there are many more which you are going to, or basically you are going to get it all with the traditional ways of promoting your product into our market. You develop an advertisement, you develop a campaign, you are going to get it along with the leaflets, pamphlets, catalog. You does that. Then come across on that is how you are going to create that awareness within interest. How you will develop an interest? You engage and introduce to the positioning of that particular thing. How you engage and introduce the positioning? You engage and introduce the positioning onto a part where it says that this is what basically the product is, and that is how it is going to satisfy the needs of the customer. Let's say there is a brand available down into a market which is known for washing the clothes, a detergent powder. Now, how a detergent powder create an interest among the customers? I hope you all use detergent powders at your place. Well, it is something which is a necessity for every household. So if you use a detergent powder at your place, how how a new detergent powder available down into a market is going to create an interest among the customers? How does it happen? Anyone?
Advertising. By using by through advertising, we are letting to know others about our product, our detergent powder.
I think Professor lose her connection. I am getting no.
Yes, yes. Let's wait for a minute. She would be joining.
Yeah.
There is some issue with Zoom. She got disconnected. She is joining in just a minute. Let's wait for her.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm really sorry. I just got disconnected. I'm audible?
Yes, yes, Dr.
Yeah. Thank you. So we were just talking about onto a part that we all use the detergent powders in our household. So how a new detergent powder into a market is going to create an interest among the customers?
First, you need to do advertisement. You need advertising.
No, that we have already done. But how we generate the interest among the customer? That the customer should come and they pick our product.
Said after the advertisement, in this case.
Yes, after the advertisement. How the customer will come and you make sure that the product that you are giving down to the customer, because you are already created an awareness among them. What made them pick up your product from the market?
The features available with the product which meets the requirement of that particular customer may enhance or increase our interest to go through that product sometime, or sometimes it's curiosity. Let's change the preference, let's change the taste. Sometimes the customer also think like that.
Okay. Any other answer?
Low price, promotions.
No, you are normally going to create an awareness or an interest among the customer if you are going to give something different to them. For example, I do not know about the brands that you use at your place for the detergent powders, but if I get along onto a part of the brands which we use in India, we have Ariel. Is one of the most expensive brand available down onto that particular part, and there they have the various segments to which they sell that brand. We have Ariel Matic, then we have an Ariel, then we have an Ariel for the washing machines onto a part of a top loading and a front loading. You need to generate that particular interest onto the basis of the segments that you want to cater. What is the kind of a need that you want to cater? Henko and Vanish are the brands available down into a market where they are going to remove the stains from your clothes. They are the stain removers. That is what an interest to the customer is. Okay, fine. If I'm going to buy, let's say Vanish, it is going to remove the stains from my clothes. Even the toughest stains is there. They claim that they are going to remove the toughest stains. They claim that even if you are going to use our product, it is not going to harm the color of your clothes. It is going to give you the fragrance in your clothes. The kind of an interest, the product specifications you are talking about, Mamta, that is what basically the product specifications are, where you are going to connect with the customer. We have another brand available down in our market called Surf Excel. It is another brand. And there they come up with the tagline that the stains are good. So it is something where you are going to create an interest among the customer that even if you are going to get it along onto a part, yes, our product is there to take care of each and everything. Whatever you have to do, whatever is to, how much dirty your clothes are, but yes, our product is there and product is going to fulfill that particular need. And that is how it is being done onto a part. There, the companies create that particular interest among the people. Why the customer is going to consider your product? So consider your product onto a part. Maybe you are going to create that particular interest among them by providing them with the small packages or the free samples so that they can use it and they can make sure or they become sure after using your product that this is what is being required out of it. This is what is being there onto a part. This is how your product is different from the other products available down into a market. Then we are going to create an intent. How you are going to create an intent? You provide the product demos. You are going to get along with a whole lot of a promotion into a market. You sales is going to add across onto a part. We go for a co-branding stuff. We go for the product assortments. We go for the bundling of the products into a market where you need to create an intent among the customer that yes, you should buy, or anything which is going to be launched into a market during the festival season, where you feel like that each and every customer who is going to be available down into a market at that point of time is going to buy my product. It is going to get along with my product into a market. Finally, you're going to get it along into the evaluation where the marketing and the sales team is going to work, and they are going to get along onto a providing with the bestest of the things to the customers into a market. And finally, the customer will come and pick up your product from the market and where they start using it. And in that particular phase, the most important factor comes out here is the post-purchase behavior. The post-purchase, you all have a post-purchase behavior? So what kind of post-purchase behaviors we have?
It's both negative and positive expectation. You know that if you satisfy with that product, then you'll just relay the message to other one also. This product is very good. You can try it like this. This is the positive, you know, that behavior. If you are not going to satisfy with that product, you may no, don't purchase this. This is not so good. So this is the post-purchase behavior, as I believe.
Yeah, this is what basically the post-purchase behavior is. Either the post-purchase behavior lead towards a positive reinforcement or it lead towards a negative reinforcement. Now, the positive reinforcement, it lead towards a positive reinforcement because that product is able to satisfy your need, want, and desire. The product is able to give you a value for money. The product is even being there on to fulfilling your expectations out of it. Or maybe you have not thought that this product is going to deliver that much to you. It has delivered to you beyond your expectations. So when all these things are being done, you are able to generate a positive reinforcement towards that particular product. But on a contrary, if it doesn't happen, you didn't like the product is not able to satisfy your need, the money that you have spent onto that particular product is onto a higher side, and the kind of expectations you have towards the product is not fulfilled, it actually leads on to a part where it says that the product has not satisfied our need. You create a negative reinforcement towards the product. It means in the future, there is no repurchase for that particular product. And even if it is going to come under umbrella, let's say Nestle is the one who is going to sell ample products into a market, Procter & Gamble is being there, Unilever is being there. If you are not satisfied with a single product, it may be a possibility you will not buy the other product, which is being manufactured onto a part of the same country. The negative reinforcement lead towards that, but a positive reinforcement always lead towards the repeat purchase. It lead towards the loyalty towards a brand. It lead towards that particular preference towards that particular brand into a market. So this positive and negative reinforcement are the parameters which decide that whether the customer is going to be loyal towards that particular product into a market or they are not going to be loyal with that particular product into a market. Getting along onto a part, we have an e-commerce conversion funnel. The marketing funnel is something which is a very traditional tool of marketing. This e-commerce conversion funnel is the modern tools into a marketing, because each and everyone into a marketing is preferring onto a part of buying the things online. You want to buy the things online because it is something which is very convenient for you. It is very something which is going to save a whole lot of your time. You do not have to take out your car, walk down to the mall or a market and park your car, visit so many stores, then decide it onto a part whether you want to buy that particular product or not. You can simply sit at your place onto your sofa or a couch, swiping or scrolling onto the various sites, searching onto a product, and then decide whether you want to buy or you don't want to buy. Let's say there are 1,000 visitors onto one particular site. Let's say we'll take an example of Amazon, because I think Amazon is available with each one of us. You does shopping on Amazon? Nobody does the shopping on Amazon? How strange. You don't shop on Amazon? You
I
shop or you
heard, but
don't?
not yet saw.
Okay, you heard about it, but you have not shopped.
I
So
will
you,
learn about that, but not
you are from which place?
Nepal.
Oh, Nepal. Okay. And what about you, Victor? You have shopped on Amazon?
No, I didn't shop on Amazon, but I did shop on Alibaba.
Alibaba.
China.
Okay. So and Mamta, you shop on which shopping site?
No, online shopping.
Online shopping. Yeah. Alibaba is on online shopping. I
Yeah,
know
there
that.
are so many online shopping here in Nepal. Basically for the country perspective only, and then there is so many Daraz online. There's so many things. I used all those things, but not exactly the Amazon and all those things.
Okay. So let's take an hypothetical company. Let's say there is an X company who is going to sell the products online, and they are having 1,000 visitors on that site, for example. So out of those 1,000 visitors, only 70% of the visitors go to their shopping area. You open an application and only 70% means out of 1,000, only 700 people visited that particular area. Now, out of those 700 people, 50% don't add anything to the cart. So out of those 700 people, only 350 people are there, those who have added anything to the cart. Means, yes, they are interested in buying that particular product, but they are not sure whether they will buy or they'll not buy. Or maybe they are going to be waiting for certain offers to come, or they are going to get more discount on them. It is there in their cart, and you get a notification that there is a sale which is going to be there for 2 hours or 3 hours, or it is going to be a flat 40, 50, 30% off. And you feel like, okay, fine, now this is the time I'll go to my cart and I may place that order. And another thing that comes onto a part, the most interesting factor, out of those 1,000 people, the visitors, only 5% of the visitors is actually going to make the purchase. So if there are 100 people only is visiting that particular application or a site, only 5 people will come and buy. Rest of the 95% of the people, you are able to attract them, but you are not able to sell them. So there is a difference. It is easy to attract. You are able to attract them, but you are not able to sell anything to them. So that is what it works on to a part of a conversion funnel on an e-commerce site, any of the shopping sites. 1,000 customer, out of those 1,000 customer, only 50%, 50 customers make a purchase. And with the 50 customers, those who made the purchase onto your site, from there, the company decide on their CLV. That is the customer lifetime value. And any one of you know what basically the customer lifetime value is? Any one of you know customer lifetime value? No one? The customer lifetime value means how much you are going to spend in a week, in a month, maybe in a quarter, half yearly or yearly.
Sorry, doctor. What do you call
Yeah.
it's customer? I didn't hear very well.
Customer lifetime value, CLV.
Life. Okay,
Lifetime.
Okay,
Lifetime.
life,
Customer
life,
life,
life.
L-I-F-E,
Okay.
life.
life. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. The customer lifetime value means how much customer is spending on you. And accordingly, you are going to make the customized offers for them. Many of the times you will receive any on the either a mail or a text from any of the e-commerce site where it says it's been so long that we have not seen each other. You have received any such mail or a message that it's been so long that you have not visited our site, or it's been so long that we have not seen each other for a while? No? Because Amazon and eBay does it very frequently. If you are purchasing the products from their site and you are not being a regular customer with them, for example, let's say for a week or a 10 days time, they will send that particular message to you that we have not seen you for long. We are missing you. Whether your husband or wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend say you or not, but these e-commerce website will definitely say you that they miss you. That is how they are going to get along or increase the traffic onto it, and that is why they want to get it onto that particular part of making. Oh, okay, Victor, it is live. It is not live. So that is how it works. And that is how you are going to increase the conversion rate. These 35% of the visitors, those who place the items in their carts, they are the people whom they miss. They are not bothered about the people, those who have visited their shopping area. No, they're only bothered about the people, those who have added the items in the cart, but they have not clicked onto the button called place order. So they want that they should come and they should click onto that place order so that we are able to make the sale out of it. And that is how it works. And that is how they are going to get along onto a part. So this comprises up with your e-commerce tunnel, where the digital literate customers, the digitally, or the people, those who are use their smartphones or their laptops or their tabs to go for a shopping or to buy the product, for them, this is what the funnel is all about. Any questions anybody wants to ask? Anything? Okay, in that case, if nobody wants to ask a question, it's a break time. So we'll just take a 10 minutes break and we all join at 3 o'clock by IST, Indian Standard Time. I do not know what is the time at your place, but by my watch, we'll join at 3 o'clock. So we'll have a 10 minutes break. Divya?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
so we'll
let's
have
do it.
a 10 minutes break, and after that, we'll start up with another session.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So, hi everyone. Again. So everyone who is present here, I just want to understand what is the time by your clock?
It's only 15-minute difference in Nepal.
Yeah, in Nepal it is only a 15 minutes difference. But what about Myanmar and Peru?
Here in Peru, it is 4:30 a.m.
4:30 a.m.
Yes.
Oh God. So you are attending these classes in the night?
Yes, it starts at 12:30 here. It's a
In the
10
night?
10.5-hour difference.
Yeah, it is. But does it seem difficult for you that you have to be awake for the whole night?
Well, I completely changed my night time. I sleep at 5 or 6 p.m. and wake up at 12, so I can be fresh and then continue my day, because after this I have to go to work.
So your biological cycle is already changed.
Yes, yes. This is week 1, so we are getting used to it.
Okay.
Hope the next 3 weeks are okay.
Okay, and what's in Myanmar?
Hello, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
What is the time there?
Now it is 16 hours, 4 p.m. Yes.
2 p.m. or 3
4
p.m.
p.m.
4
4
p.m.
p.m.
4 p.m.
Yes,
Okay.
evening,
So,
yes,
so you are 1 hour ahead from us.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So getting it along onto a part, we are now going to talk about onto a part of how the advertising is going to be defined and measured, how you're going to get along with the effectiveness of an advertising into a market. So if that particular thing needs to get along onto a part, there are ways in which the companies are going to work along onto certain factors. So the most important thing that worked along onto is the most important factor here to measure the advertising effectiveness is a Degmar approach. I'll just write it in the chat, or I'll just make you see the slide. The slide is visible. Okay. So we have to define the and measuring the advertising effectiveness. This is what basically the Degmar approach is. DAGMAR, that is defining advertising goals and measuring advertising results. So if you want to get it along onto this particular process of a Degmar, that is defining advertising goals and measuring advertising results, this is basically a model which is being developed by Russell Colley in 1961, where he has to talk about on these methods that how you are going to set the advertising objective and how you are going to measure its results onto a part. So their ultimate objective of the advertising is to carry to the customer onto the 4 levels of an understanding that they have. So the first level that needs to come out is from the level of awareness, how much aware the customer about onto the product is. The consumer must first be aware about the brand or the company. The second one come along with the comprehension, that they must have the comprehension of what the product is and what is going to be their benefits into a market. The third across come along with the conviction, means they must arrive at the store or a mental disposition or a conviction to buy your brand. And the fourth one, they finally come across with an action that they are actually going to buy that particular product. So we have awareness, we have comprehension, then we have conviction, and then we have an action. So you call that particular model as an ACCA model. You call it as an ACCA model, means awareness, comprehension, conviction, and finally with that particular conviction, you take an action onto that particular part. This model get across onto this particular parameters. You discover the product into a market. The customer understands the product related to the technicalities or the specifications if it is required in that particular product. Let's say you get down into a market and you want to buy a bread, for example. So what do you think? How much you want to understand that particular product if you have to buy a bread? A simple bread that you have to buy, how much understanding is required? You require any kind of an understanding to buy a bread?
Expiry date.
You can get it along onto an answer of a yes and a no. Do you think you require any kind of an understanding into a part to go for the bread, to buy the bread from the market? I think you don't require any kind of a comprehension onto it because you know bread is a bread. But in a similar manner, if you go to a market and you want to buy a car, you require a comprehension or you don't require a comprehension?
Yes, you do.
Why? Why it is required? Once you are buying a bread, you don't require any kind of a comprehension, but once you are buying a car, you require a comprehension.
Maybe because of the components of the product that they are more sophisticated and need a deepest level of comprehension.
Okay. Don't you feel it so that anything which is not having an involvement of a higher monetary aspect doesn't require a comprehension? And anything which is going to have a higher level of a monetary aspect involved into it, it requires a comprehension.
Oh yes, definitely. Because with bread you can just spend like cents, and with a car you have to. It's a big it's a big lots of money, so it's not a joke. It's not a joke to make that decision.
Yeah, that is what basically the comprehension is basically for. So how much new sol you spend to buy a bread? Andrea?
Sorry, miss, I didn't pick up that.
How much you spend to buy a bread?
Oh, a few minutes, seconds maybe.
No, I'm talking in terms of money.
Oh, here maybe it's like $3.
$3.
Yes, in conversion.
Yeah. If I have to get it along onto a part for $3 to us is 240 rupees for a bread. Too much. It may be a possibility we stop eating bread.
$3 is too much money.
If you are spending $3 for a bread, it's better we should not eat bread.
Yeah, it's
Also, it's very
Yeah,
expensive
bread
in
is
Mozambique.
kind of expensive here now. Inflation is bad here. It's getting bad. So
Yeah. Okay. And how much you spend, Mamta, to buy a bread? In Nepalese rupees, how much you spend?
It's a different kind of bread, but minimum you can buy by the 50 rupees.
50 rupees. Oh, similar to us. Similar to like India.
Yeah.
And how much you spend, Victor?
It's less than 20, about 20 cents of dollar.
Oh, above 20 cents of dollar. Means
Yes.
$1, $1.2.
No.
0.2, I think.
Yeah, it's 0.2. It's less than $1.
Point.
Oh,
20 cents is
two less.
0.2.
You only no. He said above to $1. 0.2
No.
cents.
It's less than $1.
Oh wow. So you only buy it for 20 cents? That's nice.
Yeah. It's
So
let's
fair?
say yes, it's less than a half of dollar is one bread.
Wow. Very nice.
Yes.
That's great. So in that particular case, neither the comprehension is required and neither the conviction is required. But if you have to get down into a market to buy a car, you require a comprehension and you require a conviction also. You need to convince the customer with the features and the specifications of the product that this is what my car is all about. This is going to be the engine. This is going to be the mileage. This is going to be the specifications. This is how we are going to provide with after sales services of the car. Each and everything needs to be there with that particular conviction. And finally, the customer is able to decide on to a part that they want to buy or they don't want to buy. So your awareness, comprehension, conviction, and action comes onto this particular part. Now, with all these factors, you need to get along onto the certain categories where you need to say that you always have an high involvement and low involvement decision-making process in buying any of the products. So communication process for the Degawat's approaches, either it is going to be at a higher level or it is going to be at a lower level. So if it is going to be there onto a part of a higher level, how it works onto a higher level, that matters with the process where you say the buyer experience the higher involvement. How they are going to get involved into it? You are fully aware about the product existence, attention and awareness level need only to be sustained and efforts need to be applied to the other communication task into our. The sales promotion and the personal sellings are the most effective in informing and persuading and provoking the consumption of a new car. Once advertising has been created and the necessary levels of the new cars, when the advertisement is being created, the necessary level of awareness. So if you have created that the necessity for and you have created that particular awareness, what get along onto a part? You all have LG as a brand.
Yeah, LG as well. Yeah.
You all have LG as a brand in your country. Any common brand that you have in your country?
We have been
Sony. I think Sony is a
Sony,
common brand.
Honda, yeah.
I think Sony is going to be a common brand which every country is going to have. So if you are going to get down into a market and you want to buy a TV, for example, and you want to buy an LED, a smart TV. In that particular smart TV, what are the specifications need to be communicated? What are the things? For example, it is a smart TV and it comes with so much of an inbuilt applications into it that you can watch whatever apps is being there. Now there are the smart TVs which is coming down into a market. Even if that particular app is not inbuilt, you can download it and you can watch across onto that particular format. It is something where the people are going to spend a whole lot of money. So when they are going to spend a whole lot of money, they need to create what is they are going to get out of it. The money that I am spending, the money that I am going to put across onto certain brands into a market, how much I am able to get out of that particular thing. How much I am able to generate out of it is one of the examples. Let's say we all go for the vacation. We all go for the vacation. So vacation is a high involvement decision making product or a low involvement decision making? Vacation is a high involvement or it is low involvement?
It's a high involvement from my side.
From your side, it is because if you are going with the family, it's always a high involvement. But if you are traveling solo, you are a solo travel. I don't think so. It is a high involvement.
Yeah,
because
if
at
you are
that
going
point
with
of time,
family, then it will be high involvement because
it will be high involvement, and you need to. Excuse me. It is high involvement and it requires a whole lot of a brainstorming and the discussion among the family members that what is where we have to go, how we have to go, where we are going to stay. So all these things need to have certain kind of a high involvement level. So you are going to explore so many ways. You are going to explore the sites, you are going to explore it onto a Google, that where we can visit, how much we are going to spend, what is going to be the cost of the tickets, how much we have to spend it onto the hotel, and what is going to be the total cost for that particular trip which is going to come. So it always leads towards a high involvement of decision making, and from there the marketers are going to spend the money accordingly. let's say you want to travel Europe, for example, and when you want to travel Europe and you want to travel Europe for, let's say, 12 night and 13 days. So for 12 night and 13 days, if you want to travel Europe, and as an individual, if I have to travel, it should not come on to less than somewhere between 5 to 6 lakhs rupees as an individual. I'm not talking it onto a part of a family. So spending 5 to 6 lakhs rupees, or maybe if I'll say it is something like $5,000, or maybe four or $4,500, I have to spend individually. So if for me, it is a very high involvement decision making process. I need to understand whether I want to go for it or I do not want to go for it, because accordingly I have to plan the other things on that particular record. Coming down onto a part of low involvement decision making. Now getting on to a part of a low involvement where the level of awareness that you found is something you are going to get attention that needs the prime objective in order to create an awareness, and that to be developed among the target audience. Means these are the only people, those who want to be targeted. These are the only people will make sure that they'll come to us and they'll buy the things from us. How many of you are aware about the Run of Kutch? Anybody heard about this name before? Anybody heard about this name before? Run of Kutch?
No.
It is a place in India, and it's in Gujarat. And in India, we used to say it as a white desert. It's a white desert in India, where from across the world, the foreigners comes and they visit this particular place, and they are going to enjoy. And they are only going to enjoy this particular thing only for 2.5 months in the entire year. For rest of the year, it is closed. So you can enjoy that particular thing from December to February only, mid of the February. I think it's over now. I think it's over by 12th or 13th of February every year. So it is something where your target audience is already defined. You're only going to target the people, those who are really excited about it, those who are really excited on to seeing that particular place. How many of you heard about Amitabh Bachchan? You know Amitabh Bachchan?
Yes, I know him. I watch
You
his
know
movies.
him. Wow.
Yes, I watch his
Very
movies
nice.
when I
You
was
watch
young.
his movies.
Yes,
So which movie you watched?
I don't recall now. It was a long time ago.
Long
But,
time ago.
Yes, yes,
So you like him?
yes. He's doing some very good movies, but very old movies. I don't know if he skipped doing another movie. I saw the old, very good.
His recent movie is Uchai. Very recent.
Okay, but he's a
Heights.
very old man now. I believe.
Yeah. He's a very old man now.
Yes, because I saw when I was
He-
young.
He's, if I'm not wrong, he's 85 years of his age.
Oh yeah.
He's an old man, but he still managed to act.
Okay.
Anybody else who knows Amitabh Bachchan? The Mamta knows Amitabh Bachchan. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from both of you, anybody else who knows Amitabh Bachchan?
I think most of the person here, Nitish Patel and then something Yadav, they might know about Amitabh Bachchan.
No,
By the
Amitabh,
way, his exact age is 80 years.
80 years. Okay, thank you, sir. So if you are going to get it across, Amitabh Bachchan is the brand ambassador for this particular event, which is going to happen in India every year. And he is the one who is promoting the travel and tourism for the Gujarat government also. So the level of awareness that they have created over here is need to be a very high, and the attention from the target audience requires onto a part is something that they look forward to. And even if I'm not wrong, Amitabh Bachchan is the one who is able to connect with the audience very well. He's able to get along onto that particular part of an understanding that this is what is being required. So if their attention is required and the awareness level is being raised with the well-known trusted celebrities, people feel like that they can relate to that particular factor. They can get along onto a part because if any of the celebrities, sorry. Oh,
Well, admin.
Victor, can you please mute yourself?
He's muted. Please.
Yeah, thank you, because I'm not able to understand the language. So there, if it is being done onto a part of the well-reputed global brands or the celebrities into a market, people always be able to relate with them. They are going to get along onto a part, and that is how the companies are able to achieve their objectives. They are able to get it along onto a part of an understanding that this is what is required. You advertise, you get along with the customers into a market, the customer is going to give you the kind of an attention which is required to you, and finally they come to you to buy the things into a market. Your purpose for that particular advertisement is over. Means you have achieved what you are being expected out of it. Let's say somebody has invested 10,000 rupees to promote, or maybe $10,000 to promote their brand into a market, and out of that they are able to increase their sales from the past quarter to this quarter with 23%. It's just an hypothetical example that I am taking. So if they're able to increase their sales with 23% while investing $10,000 onto it, it means that particular advertisement that they are going for or they are looking forward to have paid them well. They are able to get it across onto that particular part. So that is what basically the approach the companies are going to get across, where they decided onto a part of an high involvement and the low involvement, and accordingly they are going to spend the money on it. And that is how they work. Coming down on to the next level, we have the various advertising appeals. Now, the advertisements that you saw onto a daily basis, you come across onto a part of daily basis, how it works. Each and every product into a market has a very different appeal. Appeals means how you are able to attract the customer with that kind of an appeal into a market, with that kind of a way into a market. So let's talk about from a psychological level, if I have to say, it is exactly that makes you choose one brand over the brand of a competitor. What might seem like a simple choice really has more to do with the methods of the persuasion used by the advertisers to make consumers feel a certain way about the product. So I just want to get it along onto a part. You just pick any one brand of your choice, any one product of your choice which you consume also, and you just define what basically make you feel attracted towards that particular product or a brand, or what made you pursue that particular brand, or how you get along with the final purchase of that particular brand while seeing an advertisement, any brand of your choice. Any brand of your choice, just take any brand of your choice and we'll just get along with that particular thing. One brand. You have to tell me why you have chosen, after seeing the advertisement, why you have chosen this brand. Now, so I'll just give you almost like 5 to 7 minutes for this particular exercise. That after seeing an advertisement, why you have chosen this brand and why you have not chosen the brand of a competitor. So you have to tell me that any brand of your choice, you can pick any brand. Yeah, Mamta, please.
Yeah, basically Yamaha versus Honda. I prefer to use the Yamaha. I know that I personally feel that pickup of Yamaha fuel average is good than the Honda.
So what made you convinced to buy that particular brand? Why, what made you convinced to pick up Honda over Yamaha?
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah, but if you're thinking about after watching the advertisement, I'm not going. I'm just experienced. That the both one, the Yamaha and Honda, both one. So now I compare that Yamaha is good.
Okay.
Rather than to go for the only advertisement, I just personally used the both ones. So I thought that the Yamaha is good. But everyone doesn't like. Everyone perspective is different than me. But
Yes.
it's my perspective.
So it comes out of your experience.
Experience, yeah.
It doesn't come out of onto a part of any kind of an advertisement.
Advertisement, yeah.
Okay, fine.
That's why I mentioned that it is not only I depend on the advertisement, but personally I went through the experience. Yeah.
Okay. So who's the next one? Who's the next one to share
Yes,
their
but
experience about the product?
between the Budweiser and Heineken, I prefer Heineken.
You preferred Heineken, right?
Yes, the brand.
Beer.
Why you
First,
prefer Heineken over Budweiser?
yeah, the first thing is by experience. I used to see more advertisement of Heineken than the Budweiser.
Okay.
Yes. And then I'm more familiarized with the Heineken first. The first impression is what I have with Heineken. So if I choose both of them, I tested both, but I prefer Heineken more because of the availability of the brand. It's everywhere. There is just that brand, Heineken brand. It's more historical things or experience things.
Okay. So you prefer Heineken over Budweiser? Yes, Mamta.
Yeah, sometimes that even not experienced, but due to the post-purchase behavior of our colleagues, they suggest, okay, you can go through this one. This will be better for you, like this. So, as well as the different features come through the advertisement, and those products already used by our colleagues, they just suggest, for choosing the brand.
Now, because they have their own experiences with the brand, so it can be a good or it can be a bad, and it's automatically going to have an influence on you.
Yeah, influence. Yeah.
Yeah, whether you are going to buy or whether you are not going to buy.
Yeah.
But yes,
sometimes if you know the features through advertisement, we just want to reconfirm with the colleagues who already went to that brand. Is this feature is going on well or what? So it influences us.
Yeah, because ultimately at the end of the day, whatever money you are going to spend to buy that particular product, you need to get a value for that money.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
So that is something which is the most important factor. Anybody else?
As you can see, doctor, I have a cup of Heineken here, always of one Heineken, but today is not the beer, it's water.
So even if they advertise or if they don't advertise, you have your loyalty towards it.
Yes.
First impression, I think that.
Anyone else who would like to share their experience why they prefer one brand? Or because I just need to understand that how with the cultural diversity you people think. Because with one, I'll just you are talking about, Mamta, for a two-wheeler, not for a four-wheeler, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the two-wheeler.
Yeah. So if from Nepal, it comes onto a part of a two-wheeler and that too as an automobile segment. And Victor, you are from Myanmar or Peru?
It's Tanzania, I think.
Huh?
Sorry, Tanzania, I think. The other countries.
Other countries. Okay. So here he used to prefer alcoholic beverage, Heineken over Budweiser. So anyone else from Peru or Myanmar, you can share your experience that why you prefer that particular brand over other brands.
Yes, Dada.
Yeah, please.
Yes, yes. I want to share. I like drinking coffee, so I choose Triple Zone coffee than Premier coffee because Triple Zone coffee is a local brand, and I think it's no chemical for my health. So I choose this brand.
You are talking about a coffee brand, right?
Yes, coffee brand. Yes.
Yeah. And what you like the taste, or is there any other thing that you like into it?
Yes, I like the taste and my but the coffee I choose is local brand and organic coffee. So
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. Anyone else?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, please.
Yes, I would like to choose Toyota brand, very popular and prestige reputation brand in the world. Then it is highly accountable to their customer. If they have highly guarantee to customer, if they something mistake in 1 year or 2 years, they will repay another new one. That is very customer trust in this brand, and this brand is already existent in the world. Now their life is so long. They develop their product and qualified product along the so many years. They exist automobile market in the so many years. That is one point to choose Toyota brand, and that is the brand that has a reality to the customer has need real to their product. Whatever they produce, they all of the brands are customer locally for a Toyota automobile for America or Asia. They make whatever locally differences. Their product is harmony in the target customers. So it is reliable brand is one of the reliable brands from other competitor, other same automobile brands, and from start to the now they have a lot of market share in the world. So that is one point of why we should choose this brand. I think so.
So you are promoting your own company.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So people have a different kind of preference. Anybody else who wants to share anything? Any other brand? Any other? Anyone else? Okay. So getting it along, people do have different preferences, different perspectives, different kind of an interest while getting along with the brand. Some might get attracted towards the advertisement. Some might get attracted towards their social factors, means their family, their friends, the peer group, colleagues that they have into their offices, they get along with it. And more importantly, while getting along and summarizing all these factors, you pick one particular product, which is going to match or you are going to satisfy the need that you have with that particular thing. So coming on to that particular part. So in advertising, if you have to talk about onto it, there are wide varieties of ways to catch the attention of the audience or the customers into a market. And these appeals can be broken down onto two major parameters. One is the emotional and another one is the rational appeal. So it is up to the marketer to know which type of advertising appeal will be the most effective in leading the target audience to that action. Action means where the target audience may feel attracted, may get an attention, may go for a CTA, that is call to action, to get that particular thing from the audience. So what basically an advertising appeals onto a part? It basically it refers to an approach which is used to attract the attention of the customers into a market, and it is basically influence their feeling towards the product, services, or the cause that they are into. Something that moves people, speak to their needs and wants, and which excites their interests. And for example, the underlying content of the advertisement is something which is very important, and we name it as a part of a movie script. Means it goes like a movie where the people can easily relate themselves to that this is what exactly they are looking forward to onto a part of any of the products that they are watching an advertisement of. There are many advertising appeals, but majority it is divided into two parts: emotional appeal and the rational appeal. So I'll just talk about how many types of appeals we have in advertising. So these are the types of advertising appeals you have. We have a fear appeal, we have a humor appeal, sexual appeal, music, rational, emotional, scarcity appeal. Then we are going to have it there onto a part of a status appeal. Then we have a natural, personal, social, endorsement appeals, romantic, youth, adventure, popularity, transparent, beauty, contrasting, testimonials, statistics, pain solutions, brand potential, and empathy. They all are the appeals that you are going to use to attract the customers into a market. Fear appeal is basically used onto a part onto the basis of health. If you are not going to exercise, if you're not going to consume these products, if you are going to eat a whole lot of a sugar or a fast food, it leads towards the obesity and the other diseases in your body. So it is a kind of a fear that you are creating among the customer so that the customer should come and they should buy your product. Humor appeal, any of the advertisement which makes you laugh. I cannot get along onto a part of an international perspective and say, okay, these are the advertisements which makes you laugh. But there are many advertisements which is going to make you laugh. Many people are going to get an attraction onto that particular thing. Sexual appeals normally going to associated onto a part of contraceptive pills, condoms. They all are being the products which use the sexual appeals advertisement to get the attention from the customer. Many appeals comes on to endorsement appeal, any of the celebrity who comes and endorse the product into a market, that this is a product that people prefer to buy. This is a product that they want to get it along onto a part. This is what they are looking forward to. Youth appeal, in which it is being scattered onto a part of a youth, where the products are being there onto a part. For example, Victor has given an example onto a part of Budweiser and Heineken. It is a youth appeal advertisement because they prefer to get along with these particular products into a market. Social appeal, where the society plays an important role. What are the corporate social responsibilities the companies are doing if you are going to buy any of the products, and this much of the money is being contributed towards a social cause, maybe for the child education, maybe for the health, maybe for the sanitation. All these advertisement, if they come across and they say, they all are being considered onto a part of a social appeal advertisement. Testimonial appeal, where you are look forward for the reviews, where you look forward for the acknowledgement that yes, other people are talking good about it, other people are saying good about it, writing good about it, I'll go and I'll buy these products. These are the appeals. Normally, when you get along onto any of the e-commerce site, you mostly read the reviews. You mostly see the ratings, how much rating the people have given. If they have given good ratings, you may consider that particular product, but if it is not being considered onto a part of a good rating, you normally skip that particular product. Beauty, each and everything which is associated onto a part of a grooming factor. All your shampoos, conditioners, moisturizers, beauty creams, maybe the deodorants or mist or perfume, they all are having these appeals to make you look good. You should feel good about that particular thing. You should get it along onto a part. So that is how it works onto it. Many appeals onto it, and where emotional appeals, where the family comes into, where the people get along onto a part of a family, where they in India, maximum of the advertisements of Coca-Cola is an emotional appeal. It is basically an emotional appeal that needs to look forward to. And for India, the Coca-Cola is always about open happiness. How you are going to open an happiness is simply like opening a bottle of a Coca-Cola. So these are the appeals that is. So we have talked about the factors onto it. That is Degmar approach. That is defining advertising goals and measuring advertising objectives with the high and the low involvement. And then we have talked about onto a parameter of the various advertising appeals. So anybody wants to ask anything? Any question is there that anybody wants to ask? Any question? Anybody wants to ask? No question. Nobody wants to ask anything? Because the next slide is Q&A, question and answers. Okay, in that case, if nobody wants to ask anything, so that's all from my side today. I hope that you all have enjoyed the session. And if there anything that you want to seek and you want to ask, you can always write to me. I'll just write my email ID in the chat box. I'll just love to answer your questions. I've written my email ID in the chat box. It's rnair@amity.edu. So if anybody wants to ask anything, if they want to get it along onto a part, you are most welcome. So that's all from my side today. Thank you so much. Thank you all. May you all have a good weekend, which you all may look forward to. So I simply have to wrap up the session where it is being there onto a part that what you have studied for the whole day. And to get across onto these particular things, I think in the morning you have a session with Dr. Pooja. In the morning you have a session with Dr. Pooja?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the morning when you have a session with Dr. Pooja, I think there you have get along onto a part of understanding of the customers into a wallet environment.
It's
Volatile
about the
environment.
consumer behavior, how
Yeah,
they
it's
react
about
in
the,
this.
yeah, the consumer behavior, the consumer segment, how you are going to get, and you basically develop an understanding onto a part of the changing behavior of the customer, which depends upon the various social as well as the economic environment factors. And in the session, the second session, you have talked about what are the various different customer segments and their behavior and how they are going to develop an understanding and appreciation towards that particular thing into a market. In our session, we have talked about understanding the mindset of the digitally literate customers and how we are going to design the advertising strategies for them. And then we have talked about defining and measuring the advertising effectiveness with the various advertising appeals into our market. Saturday and Sunday, you don't have your training session. So on Monday, you're going to have your training session on the power of perseverance and the persuasion in sales and strategic pricing for the market disruption. This is what is going to be there on to a part on Monday. The session will be taken by Dr. Vinamrajan and Dr. Rahul Gupta. They are your coaches for the session that is going to held on Monday, where you are going to talk about the sales as well as they are going to get it along onto a part of the pricing strategy. So that's all from my side. It was nice meeting you all, especially the people, those who have participated. I would like to name Mamta, Victor, and Angelia. She's the one who has participated. And then it's Hen. Hen means say. I pronounce it right. I'm really sorry if I didn't.
Yes, Damayanti.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. It was
Yes.
nice interacting with you all. May you all have a very good weekend ahead.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Dr. Ruchika,
Thank
for
you.
taking this
Thank
session
you,
and
Professor.
also summarizing it well for them to continue their
Yeah.
journey
Thank
ahead.
you.
Thank you, everyone. We go for a
Thank
weekend
you.
break. We start on Monday at the same time, usual 11 o'clock. I'll be sharing the PPTs and details of contact resources during the weekend. You may go through it. Anything else, feel free to ping or reach out to any one of us. Thank you. Have
Yeah,
a nice.
Divya, can you share that publication once again? That,
Sorry, can you
Uh,
repeat?
can you share that publication yesterday, whatever is shared, but I could not, the upload or the PDF file is getting
Sure. Sure. Can you text me the name of that PDF? Acha, the one which was sent for assignment, right?
Yeah, for assignment, yes, that's
Sure.
that's
I'll
publication.
do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also I hear that you're gonna send us all the material from the week for this week. Are you gonna
I-
send it?
Just a second. I think I'm not able to hear. Let me use some.
Okay. Okay, I was asking that. I heard that you're gonna send us all the material from the week. Is that? All the subjects we covered during the week.
Yeah, Victor. Yeah. Now I can hear all the subjects we covered during the week. You want collaterals, PPTs.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Yeah.
PPT, all the material we have. we
Yeah. That is
covered
what I
it.
said. I'll share it with you during the weekend. So you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well,
Have a nice
Thank you very much. Have a great
Yeah,
weekend.
thank you. Have a nice weekend.
bye. Thanks. Bye-bye.